That's not going to affect us.
You are live. You are live.
Welcome back to the Nova Open Invitational Round 2. We've got a treat for you. The British are coming, and they are here. We've got the legendary Matthew Davis, known as Math Mallow, and his Sylvaneth, facing off against Caleb Walters with his Tzeentch. Caleb won the Nova Open last year with Tzeentch. Math Mallow from the UK. Huge fan of Sylvaneth, from what I understand. But I'm also being joined by not just a regular Owen Jackson, but the Owen Jackson from the UK.
Hey Emma, how are you?
Fantastic. You know why I'm so good right now?
Why is that?
Because I went to Nova Open.
It's great, right? I mean, I was at the Nova. I think I am still at the Nova Open, but I'm not in the Nova Open anymore.
No, what happened?
I got cruel boys.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah,
Did
Jacob got me. Yeah, it was great. I had a really nice time, and I drank lots of whiskey before 10 o'clock, which is not like me. But you'll be pleased to hear I've sobered up, and I'm ready for this game between my compatriot and, well, I would like to say probably arguably the best Sylvaneth player in the world against potentially the best Tzeentch player in the world.
Wow.
I mean, that's yeah. What do you think, though? I'm not wrong.
I mean, I don't know any other, how many Tzeentch players are there? Like, Matt Beasley, amazing Tzeentch player on the West Coast.
Yep, I'm aware of Matt.
But I have to say, other than that, like, I can't think of, like, many Tzeentch players at, like, this high caliber level of play.
No, there's an excellent Danish player from the Danish Worlds team, Alexander, who I believe is a brilliant Tzeentch player.
Aren't they brilliant at everything, though?
They're brilliant at everything, yeah. Also, dashingly handsome as well. I hate them all.
Good at everything.
But yeah, I mean, Tzeentch is not as represented as I think it should be, because I think it's a fantastic army. It's a very technical army. And then I think Sylvaneth could be arguably described as quite a technical army as well. So we have two master tacticians here. Yeah, it should be a really good game, actually.
This might actually be the most exciting game of the day.
I mean, more exciting than my game, because my game was over in like an hour. But yeah, it's an interesting mission, two fantastic players, and two very technical armies with a lot of opportunity for skill expression here.
Absolutely. And they're setting up the mission Nexus Collapse. So there's going to be 6 objectives. And starting from the second battle round, the player with fewer points, victory points, gets to remove up to 2 objectives.
Yes.
If there's a tie, the person, I think, going second gets to remove 1. If they remove.
Yes. I'm also getting called out in the chat by Phil Marshall. He is right that Tobias, who is the new German captain, I should note that he's a fantastic Tzeentch player. He beat me at Worlds as well. Maybe that's why I've scrubbed him out of my mind. But yeah.
You're beating at Worlds. You're beating round 1 at Nova. Like, Owen, what are you winning?
I lose all the time, man. Hopefully I'm winning your heart. That's it, right?
Won it.
Okay, great. So I can go home happy. But yeah, the mission is a real head wrecker, this one.
Yeah.
You get, like, people, a lot of players do purposefully go down on the primary so that they have the opportunity to delete 2 objectives, because the ultimate kind of punish on this is that you lose the prio into, say, 2 or into 3, and then you also lose 2 objectives at the same time. It's not like one of those like season 2 or old GHB missions where, like, lose the prio and you get to react and maybe remove 1 objective. You can have the double down of basically losing 2 objectives, which will generally be ones that you're sat on, plus losing the prio. So it'll be interesting to see how they both open on this. They'll probably both go for, I don't know, I'd like to think that maybe they both go for 3-point turns and then have a roll-off.
I did talk to Matt.
Okay.
Is Matthew, what's his
Math.
Math?
As in
Math.
what you call mathematics over here in America. Math.
Oh, we don't do well in schools over here in American States, sorry. But his plan is basically to kind of deploy in the corner, out of range of all of the threats and spell casting, and purposely go down on points.
Yep. I mean, Math Mallow sitting in the corner of the board in a little castle of trees is kind of Math Mallow 101 Warhammer. He doesn't like to play a particularly engaging game, but he's a very engaging person, so he gets away with it.
But on the other side, Caleb I've played against him a few times. I've seen plenty of his games. He has that same play style.
Oh, interesting.
He's very technical with his little castle. He likes to just do what he needs to do to score his points and not put himself in any kind of position where he's overextended or at risk of losing anything key. So he's very technical. Will sit back.
This could be a real love-in then, because it sounds like they both like to play the game in the same manner. I think, obviously, it's a Guild of Summoners list with a Cron Spine, so he's going to be able to power that Cron Spine up and then send it out in the same manner as Math is going to be using Alariel as the strike and fade piece.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Let's talk about these lists.
Let's do it.
I'll take Caleb, repping the United States and this battle of the ages. He's got Guild of Summoners.
Yep.
His grand strategy is Master Destiny, which is the pretty standard Zinch one. Essentially, you need a 9+ on your Destiny dice at the end of the game. Destiny dice, he'll roll 9 dice at the start of the game, and you can sub them in for rolls for like a damage or a hit or a casting roll.
Cheetah dice, that's what we call them.
And essentially, with these dice, is you can score his grand strat before the game even starts.
Yep, perfect.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, that sounds great.
He's got a Magister on Disc of Zinch with Glimpse of the Future and Hoarfrost, and that one's bound to the Cron Spine.
Yep.
So even if he doesn't get like his Rupture off to make the Cron Spine wild, he can just yeet that Magister in and die.
Yep. He's got 2 paths to basically making that Cron Spine wild. Which is...
He's got 3, right? Because the Magister, if he casts a spell, he can choose to cast another one, but if he gets a double, he dies.
So you can just use Destiny dice to then make that double, and then he dies. Then the Cron Spine is inherently wild, which otherwise the spell Rupture can fall off. Otherwise, when you go from turn to turn, it'll need to be recast. So yeah, he's got 2 paths, and like making it wild makes it run and charge, +1 to hit. It's.
And he can eat his own endless spells to level up.
Yeah, there's a lot of tech that he can do there, so I think we're going to have to be really careful of watching Caleb's turns, especially during the magic phase and the movement phase, to see how he sets up, because he can do all sorts of crazy things, running forward, eating his own end of spells, and then piling in, and yeah. I still don't know if Math really cares that much, though. But anyway, let's go through the rest of the list.
He's got the Ogroid Thermitage. Caleb's always been a big fan of this one.
Yep.
It's been on a lot of his list. He's got the Lord of Change as his general.
Yep.
With Demon Spark and the 9-Eye Tome.
Okay.
I'm actually familiar with those 2.
No, I reckon there's Toby in the chat will probably tell us what the 9-Eyed Tome is, because he's an absolute Zinch master. So maybe if someone in the chat can tell us what that 9-Eyed Tome is, it's probably... Oh, it might be the rerolls, actually. It might be rerolling, casting, and dispelling and unbinding, which is crazy strong with the Lord of Chain's inherent ability to switch the, double up on the highest dice. So you roll a single 5 and it casts on an 11 with the innate +1 as well. So essentially, there's real magical dominance here from Caleb's list.
He's also got a Magister on foot. Both the Ogroid and the Magister on foot have the Blizzard.
Yeah, so the Ogroid has a D6 Mortal Wound spell on his or her War Scroll as well, so we could potentially see 5 D6 Mortals coming out of a 170-point character. So yeah, 9-Eyed Tome gives reroll, cast, unbind, and dispels. So yeah, thank you, Toby. See, showing he's a Zinch master straight in there. And then what else in the battle? It's a pretty light list beyond that, right?
Yeah, very light. He's got 2 units like minimum Carrick Acolytes and a unit of 10 Zangors for his battle line.
Yep.
And then 3 endless spells. The Umbral Spell Portal, pretty standard with Zinch. A Purple Sun, which Caleb has been loving Purple Sun.
Always with the sun, right? No matter what. It's had nerfs, it's had points changes. He loves that sun.
He loves it. And then the Burning Sigil of Zinch, because Zinch can summon one of these endless spells, like one of the Zinch ones, so the Burning Sigil, before the game starts.
Yep, and it can't be dispelled on the first turn, I believe. And that gives... It's like a zone control piece, a bit like... Well, obviously different, but like Gotrek has a role, like you run Gotrek into the middle of the board and people don't want to go near it. The Sigil essentially creates like an 18-inch bubble, doesn't it? 9 inches either side, where... Because it has the opportunity to, do mortal wounds and then...
Turn people into Chaos Spawn.
Exactly, and those spawn can then tag, a shooting unit or... Not super strong, I don't think, into Math's list, unless we're talking about some chip damage. But I don't think...
You have to roll it for your own Carrick Acolytes, don't you?
You do
You
indeed.
can turn your own Carrick into a Chaos Spawn.
Yeah, which is quite
Gets
cute.
extra units
Exactly,
off the
just
table.
gets another extra unit. Potentially in this matchup, that might be quite nice to have them run off and block up the board, because we're going to look at Math Mallow's Sylvaneth list now, which is a very tricksy teleporty list. Just before we go ahead, sorry, I jumped a bit too far there. Well, how many drops are we looking at there for
It's 5.
Five
Yeah,
drops.
You have the command entourage for the extra spell on everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and then everything else is in a battle regiment.
Nice. So, Math Mallow playing his classic sort of Heartwood one-drop Sylvaneth list here. So, he's running the Dwindling. So the Heartwood, basically, he gets to choose 3 units at the start of the game and gets +1 to hit against them with his whole army. So, means very efficient on CP. We've got the Dwindling, which gives a reroll, a single reroll to a casting or dispelling or unbinding. Spellcasting Savant essentially means that he needs to keep his Arch Revenant alive.
Yep.
The Arch Rev is not normally a wizard, but has the Arcane Tome. And then has a rerollable Bloodthirst Tramp, so reroll charge. And then, yeah, it's Alariel the Everqueen. Have you played against Alariel a great deal?
I haven't played against Alariel, but I actually played with Alariel quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah, I tend to take her to like little RTTs, like little local ones, because it's just so much fun.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. Like 16-inch flying move. She's got a flat 6 damage spear at 24-inch range, I want to say.
Yep.
And then, yeah, the Wardroth Beetle.
So fast too. It's
Exactly.
16-inch movement.
Exactly.
Boom.
So you don't need to rely on the teleports with her. That's why Math gets a lot of value from this. And obviously, once she dies, then there's a mechanic whereby she can come back. And she heals 2d6. So if you swing for the Queen, you best not miss,
Yeah,
right?
best not miss.
Because she's getting back to full health.
In her phase, it's a 2d6 heal, and if she's within range of like the Overgrown or the tree, she gets the regular 1
Yep.
wound from
Yep.
the Unleashed ability. So it's a 2d6 plus 1 heal.
And also, she has access to the whole spell lore. So with Throne of Vines, she can put that on herself and give herself an additional wound back at the end of every phase. So she's impervious to chip damage, basically. Now, this is really nice, the tech that that Math's got on the Arch Rev. So he has Radiant Spirit, have you heard of Radiant Spirit? Or you know what Radiant... Yeah, so we've got a 12-inch bubble of a 4-up Spell Ignore.
Do you think that's going to be good against Siege here?
It feels like it might be quite good, yeah. Yeah, with a lot, apart from the Cron Spine and that little unit of Zangor, then all the damage really is coming, from that sort of 18-inch murder box of Siege casting.
So I did talk to Math beforehand too, and I said it's a great command trait provided you are able to roll the 4-ups, and he is fully confident in his ability to roll 4-ups. He
Great.
said that's not a problem.
I mean, that is one of the key things about being good at Warhammer, is being able to roll the dice that you need to roll at the time.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you obviously rolling 5-ups for Nurgle, right? You made pretty much a career out of that.
Yeah, and then I played you at the castle, and I was very bad at Warhammer then. I had 3 miscasts in a row. I was terrible at Warhammer.
You were better at rolling ones that day, right? Although last time at Nova, I don't know, when I was on the stream round 1, I was really good at rolling ones, if you remember when I played Gavin. So yeah, if you can roll the right dice at the right times, you're gonna profit. So yeah, he's got that 4-up Spell Ignore. And then it's a really elite list. We've got Kurnoth Hunters, which are battle line in Heartwood. He has 6 with Great Bows, another 3 with Great Bows, and then just 5 Tree Revenants.
Yep.
And then the 5 Gossamer Archers, which, again, we'll see some sweet Gossamer tech, I think, here from Math. He knows how to play them really well.
He's in love with Gossamer.
He's
like gushing over
Yep.
them.
And then a Spike Swarm Hive, which, again,
raise
+3 to move, +3 to charge, so that would put Alariel up to a 19-inch flying move.
For 40 points in a Sylvaneth list, like there's no reason
Absolute
to not
value.
throw a Spike Storm Hive. Because even if you don't get the cast off, it still gives you a tool that if it does go off, like, you might be able to get somewhere that you normally couldn't and swing a game wildly.
Yeah, and it has really good defensive capabilities as well that a lot of people don't really know about, in that you can make it so you can worsen Ren by 1. So if you imagine, he'll have 6 Kurnoth Greatbows sat in a tree with a 2-up save, ignoring Ren 1. They can then have a 4-up ignore for spell damage. That's why I don't think the Cron Spine is so clutch in this. Obviously, if he goes around hunting Tree Revenants and Gossamids with the Cron Spine will gobble those up for lunch. But the Gossamids have an ability to, on a 2-up, they can unleash hell and then check out and have a 12-inch move.
Yeah.
So they're really tricksy.
Don't know if they clarified with Tio, but there was a question beforehand of can the Gossamids actually still retreat from the Cron Spine? Because the Cron Spine says you cannot retreat.
That would be interesting. It
Shut
depends.
down the Gossman tech.
It depends on whether it's viewed as being a retreat or a move, because I think it says they can make a normal move. That'll be one for the rules lawyers,
Yeah.
not for like a
For the Gareths and Madisons of the world.
But also there's some sweet tech in that you can declare that you're going to unleash and then actually unleash later. You don't have to unleash straight away. It's very tricksy, and like Math, he took this exact list to the recent Age of Sigmar Worlds. Do you know how well he did with it?
I do not. I was not
6-0, baby. 6-0 for the Welsh team.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't count 6 on one hand, so that's assuming it's a
Yeah,
lot.
it was all his games, Emma. All his games.
All his games.
All his games. Big wins. And I would say, actually, yeah, a bit of spice from lunch. So I had lunch with Math. I said, how do you feel about the matchup? He said, normally this is a green, but he respects Caleb big time. So it's kind of a light green or maybe veering into orange territory. So yeah, I think we're in for a really, really good game here. Really interesting game.
Alariel can summon 1 unit once per battle.
Yep.
And that includes 3 more bow Kurnoth hunters.
It does indeed. So he could be up to 12 bows.
12. Normally their shooting is on 4s and 3s.
Yep.
The Heartwood getting +1 to hit
Mm-hmm.
to multiple 3 of Caleb's units. And then also the Revenant
Yep.
has a big bubble of +1 to wound roll. So there's going to be 3 of Caleb's units that he's going to be shooting on 3s and 2s.
Yep.
Ren 1, 2 damage.
And that bubble is exactly the same size bubble as the Radiant Spirit bubble, and also the same size bubble for a +1 attack, which is on the Archrev's War Scroll. So it's like this beautiful little synergistic castle, and like it will be set up quite far away, I'd imagine, from the main play. But if you come into it, then you're probably going to get whatever comes in is going to die, even a Kronspine. And he has the ability to level it down from afar without engaging. There's obviously Metamorphosis, which can come out of Alariel, which is an excellent, 3+ Mortal Wound spell. I think this is going to come down a lot. I'm very confident in both of their abilities to score battle tactics and grand strategies. So this is really going to be how much they want to dictate the objectives that are being removed from the table, and then the primary as well. I think one way or another, I don't think this is going to be a blowout. This is going to be a tight game. I think we're in for like 5 rounds of technical Warhammer, and we're going to try and keep up with the players because it's not always easy to get on top of all the minutiae as we watch it. But it looks like Matt's setting up his home there, though. Home base.
There are 4 games happening right now in the Invitational.
Indeed.
And we carefully selected this one out of the bunch to be our stream.
Yes. What are those other games, actually, Emma? Do we know?
We've got Tom Guan, who's playing Alex Cosgrove. It's the zombie menace that Tom's been bringing around, versus OBR.
Yes. It should be Tom's game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he did just beat Swaggy. He beat
just
Michael
beat
Roush.
OBR.
Yeah, he beat OBR.
And I think this mission's going to be better for him.
But then Alex is no slouch. He just dispatched of Noah
by 1 point.
by a point. Yep. And then my victor in the last round. So Jacob Brandon.
Yep.
Great player, Skaven player, and obviously with his Cruel Boys, he is facing off against one of the Trentinelli brothers, Anthony. Yeah. How do you think? And I believe that's Slaves to Darkness.
Slaves to Darkness. He's got 6 Khorne Varangard, like 10 Nurgle Knights, and then 10 Chosen that are also marked as Khorne, which I thought was an interesting choice. He's going for the real high damage instead of the Slaanesh mobility. And then in our other game, we've got Anthony Lawrence's Slaanesh.
Yes.
Which I want to see that on stream next if he wins, because he's got Slankor Fiendbloods in his list. World first, you heard it here. Slankor Fiendbloods in an Invitational.
Wow. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about Anthony, actually. I hear he's a real player. Yeah.
And he's playing against Scooter, so Caleb's brother, who plays Iron Jaws, just pigs.
Yep. Pigs for days. But I did see he's got Scragger in there as well.
Yeah, he's been looking to mix up, put a wizard.
Mm-hmm. Get that.
List,
I mean, there are no better wizards really in the game for 200 and something points, right?
He used to run like a Fungoid Cave Shaman for like a Mystic Shield, and then also for the chance to give a command point. So Skragat for bit more points is doing the same thing.
He didn't bring the fungoid for holding objectives, though, did he? As we saw at LVO.
Oh no.
Only counts as one, right? Adam Mumford in the chat is saying, why is Owen not playing? It's because I lost, isn't it, Emma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only put winners on stream here for round 2.
Yep, so I'm never getting on stream again. Yeah, so it sounds like a really good round, though.
That was the same experience you had last year and you lost your first round.
I did. Emma, you just love twisting the knife, don't you? I had a really fun time, though. I believe that you called it a masterclass, if I'm not mistaken. I have
last
definitely,
year?
yeah, I definitely haven't watched that footage back of me against Gavin.
Yeah, it was a great game.
It was a really good.
was
Yeah,
a-
I had
it was-
I had a really good time actually. So, I think Sylvaneth got real game, even more so in this GHB. So, based on everything we've said, who's going to win this game?
So, I don't know if I'm confident. I kind of like Math in this. He's got the shooting, the tools, the mobility. But because of the mission and the ability to remove objectives, it could swing the game one way or the
Yep.
other.
Yeah, I hear you.
And because Zinch's so much power is in the spells
Yeah.
and the casting that you never know, like, is he gonna miscast or is he gonna like pop off and accomplish what he needs?
Yeah, you're right. I think maths, the way that Math likes to play is less reliable on dice because he's got all those, the movement plus the long range shooting. Because I mean, we didn't really mention it, but those Kurnoth, they shoot at 30 inches.
30 inches.
So like he can comfortably play the stay away game whilst removing the Kyriks, removing the Zangor.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your wizards.
Yeah,
The Kurnoth hunters.
nothing safe. Also, we didn't really talk about Caleb's sub-factions. Is he playing summoners?
Yeah.
So we're not going to be seeing like extra units of blue horrors or anything coming on the board. It's going to be the pure chicken meta, yeah?
More chickens.
More chickens. But those chickens, Math can kill a chicken a turn, right, with his output.
Absolutely.
So it could be like a real whack-a-mole style game where there's just chickens coming on the board and chickens getting taken off the board. Like a KFC. Sorry.
So we do have in the top left and the bottom right corners are just regular wildwoods.
Uh-huh.
So those do block line of sight for most things.
Yep.
Math does have his awakened wildwoods on the right hand side, towing that one objective.
Yes.
Key thing is you cannot see models if you're more than if the line goes more than 3 inches through these, unless you have a wounds characteristic of 10 or more.
Yep.
So like the Lord of Change can see through, but some of the smaller wizards can't. Also, didn't know this, but if you use a spell portal and you try to sling a spell through it from the Lord of
yeah.
Change, you cannot draw a line of sight through those because it's being drawn from the spell portal, not the model with 10 or more wounds.
Yep. Yeah, that came up at Worlds and is very impactful, right?
That's huge. So he's gonna be able to hide very well back there. Like he's already gonna be out of range of all of these spells turn one. Caleb's only thing that he can really reach out with is that spell portal. That's gonna get denied. The only thing though is, could he potentially just delete Alariel with that purple sun coming at him, doing a ton of mortal wounds? It's only 2d6 mortal wounds, so it can't one-shot her.
No, I mean,
Could be pretty impactful because we did see in a game last year, I think there was a Sylvaneth player named Owen Jackson that ate a Bastillodon with the purple
yes.
sun.
Yeah, I hear.
When we thought all hope was lost, he said, nope, not today.
It's because I was good at rolling ones again, right?
And then Caleb in the final ate a Mega Boss on foot with the Destroyer Axe, ate him with the purple sun.
Wow. Okay.
And he was lining up to charge into the Crown Spine and pop Destroyer and just de-level the Crown Spine right away. And he got gobbled up with a purple sun before he got the charge.
Disaster. I mean, one thing that is kind of sneaky, and I've seen Caleb do a few times in his games, is that he can combo, Arcane Suggestion, which is -1 to save. Purple Sun is another -1 to save. So, like, the 2d6 shooting attack from the Lords of Changes, once he's got a couple on the board with those buffs, like, you end up with, like, you'll have 66 shots with Ren 3. or like the Zangor can go in with Ren 3. I think, yeah, I really don't know how this is going to go down. There's a lot of output from the Zinch, but outside of the Cronspine, it's quite short range.
Yeah.
Whereas Math is much happier playing the stay away game. It looks like what we've got there. Math has some lovely, colourful pom-poms on his bases. That's what we're seeing there.
He does. He said that he has them like color coordinated.
Yeah.
So that way he could just say the orange unit has shot, the pink unit is shooting.
I mean, I respect the what that does for the gameplay. What it does for my eyes is slightly different.
It's not cherry enough for you?
No, it's I'm not a huge fan. So we're seeing Alariel. We're a bit undecided. So obviously with Math being the one drop, he's just putting his whole army down, and then Caleb's going to be able to counter deploy against that. Caleb's army looks like it's very Christmas themed.
It is.
So Christmas has come to DC, right?
It's very wintry themed. You've got presents. There's little ornaments on. His display board even is very Christmassy themed.
Wow.
Christmas trees.
Amazing. I mean, and he's won quite a few hobby prizes for it as well, right?
He has. He checks off all the boxes on those painting prizes.
He is, yeah, what do they call it here at Nova? I believe it's the Renaissance Award. He's got to be a shoo-in for that because he's a gem to play against from everything I hear. And then he's got a great-looking army and he's a killer on the table. So the triple threat. I hate him already.
So Matt's going to be able to dictate turn one. Likely have Caleb go first.
Yep.
Have, be out of range of all the threats.
Yep.
The question is here, what does Math elect to try to shoot off first? With all of his shooting, what are the key pieces here you think he's going to aim for?
It's really interesting because I don't know how much value there is in leveling down the Incarnate because of the way that Caleb can easily level it back up again. I would probably, with the fact that Caleb can't summon extra units beyond the chickens and they get harder and harder to summon. Obviously with Guild he can get one on with 9 on the first turn, 9 of the fate points, and then 18. I might be tempted to try and just pick up all the Kyriks and all the Zangor, personally. I might be wrong, I don't know. I'm not very good at Warhammer because I keep losing round 1, right? We've already clarified that. I don't know, anybody in the chat? We've got some real good players in the chat. I'm wondering if any of them have any ideas. And what do you think?
I think he's probably going to have to shoot those first because he needs to strip the Lookout Sir from the things like the Ogroid.
Yes,
and
nice.
Because you can only summon those Swords of Change
from the Arcanite heroes.
Heroes.
Nice.
So
Yeah, that's a good point.
Arcanite heroes. So I think that's where he's going to prioritize and just get it down to, okay, you have an Incarnate and a Lord of Change.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to run around you in circles.
Yeah, because historically you'd always think that Tzeentch are a really good army that it ramps really well into the late game, whereas I think that Math can really stop that happening by targeting, clearing out the battle line units and then targeting the heroes as you've described. And he can bounce around and get lines of sight onto these heroes relatively easily, with the way that he can teleport through the woods.
Alariel has a once per battle at the start of his hero phase. He can make everything on the table overgrown.
Yes.
So she can just be like, you know what? I'm going to teleport to the other side of the table, charge in there, pick something up, and then teleport out.
Yeah. And also the thing with you might find, much like when the frustration of playing against Caradron Overlords is that you might get really close to catching them, and then they just bounce to another part of the board, and then you've got to start all over again. Math can do a similar thing here. He's got Tree Revenants just always teleport anywhere on the board. He's always got a single teleport with a single unit that can get away. And then Alariel moves 16, the Archrev moves 12, the Gossamids move 12. He can potentially bait and switch his way around the board as long as he's not giving too much on the primary. Toby in the chat saying this is Nexus Collapse, so Matt should give the turn away, score 1 point less than Caleb to remove Caleb's home objectives. That's fair. Tzeentch do really like playing in a castle manner, don't they?
Yeah, and Caleb, that's his play style. He likes to play very conservative in a castle. Doesn't like bring in the fight to his opponent. Let his opponent make a mistake. That's his.
He's like a reactive, counter-punchy style. Yeah.
He'll kind of wait until there's that prime opportunity, and then he'll explode out. but until that opportunity presents itself, he's going to stay very bubbled up.
So it's really interesting. Normally, with these two kind of passive armies, we would see the first maybe 1, 2, perhaps even 3 turns being a game of brinkmanship, where they're essentially looking to score the primary, score their battle tactics, and then, like you say, we might have an explosive turn 4 or 5. From moment 1 in this game, we're going to have an interesting game because Caleb. We'll have to see. I can't speak too loudly because it's just the other side. But Caleb, is he going to be motivated to go down on the primary so that they have a roll off for who's going to remove those objectives? Because if he pushes out in the traditional manner and gets his 1-2 more battle tactic 5 points, Matt is just going to go, sweet. I'll just burn a battle tactic I can't do, get a couple of primary points, and then sweet. I'm going to remove 2 objectives and then force him to come forward.
Caleb's definitely very conservative turn 1 just because there is that threat of the Sylvaneth double turn him into this.
Yeah.
And when you're playing such a fragile army like Tzeentch, you've got some protection against the melee with -1 hit, for your demons, but
a load of big trees 30 inches away just raining down hailing shots. And like you've described,
there's not many demons, so it's like even against the melee of Alariel, there's not really any protection.
Yeah. And the much like you've described, removing the battle line and then going into the Arcanite heroes, that could easily happen over 2 turns, right?
Easily.
Over a double.
Yeah, with 12 Kurnoth Hunters.
So
2 damage each.
And then the flat 6 damage from Alariel on 2s and 2s, Ren 2. Oh boy. Like this is a spicy game. I also respect Caleb for giving us some lovely, bright Tzeentchian objective markers, so we're going to be able to tell the board state very easily.
Beautiful.
As long as they remove them, obviously. So we're seeing that castle being set up quite far back, right?
Very far back. Now, Caleb's round 1 opponent was the legendary John Anderson, the Fishman himself.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Sharknado himself, right?
Yeah, probably the only people still running Sharks today. So that was a tight game too.
Yeah.
And Caleb's probably wondering what he did to deserve 2 shooting armies in a row.
Well, I mean,
But he did survive 1 shooting army. I
Yep.
don't think it was as much shooting. There was a lot of Reavers, some Sharks.
I don't think that damage is quite as efficient as the because we're looking at it was 3s Ren 1 across the board, but with D3 damage on the Sharks and D3 damage on the Turtle.
Yeah.
With the change, not that recent, but with the relatively recent change of Kurnoth from D3 to flat 2 damage, and wounding on 2s, hitting on 3s. He's also got the ability to really nicely bait out a defense. Again, that's a way that he likes to play. If you imagine you've got the flat 6 from the spear, so you chuck that in. Do you want to all out defense? No. And then you can shoot the 3, and then you can shoot another 3, and then you can shoot the 6 Kurnoth. At each of those stages, if the player who's defending doesn't use all out defense, and then they realize that Math is actually pumping all of them into the same target, they don't get efficiency from the all out defense early, and if they use it early, he'll switch targets and then be able to blow something else up easily. And he's very used to doing this kind of 40k-ish style of, distributing the power really well, because he has the range to do it, and then he's got enough units to, as I say, split the damage up quite nicely. So we're going to see some good play here, I think. I know I'm bigging Math up here, but he really does know what he's doing, and this is his army. He's Mr. Sylvaneth, so...
Caleb is Mr. Tzeentch over here, so...
Okay.
I've only seen him, in years I've known him, he played OBR at one event this year. Other than that, all I've ever seen was Tzeentch.
Yeah. I've come over to quite a few events in the US now, and I've seen those Christmassy demons many times, and to massive success. I mean, he was
8-0 last year in the GT with this.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, if anybody can turn this matchup round, because I think it would be remiss not to say that we think that this is slightly in Math's favor.
I mean, with a scenario like Nexus Collapse too, there's a lot more to play around than just your opponent in their list. You gotta play around the mission too,
So he's gone quite wide with his castle, which is interesting.
I think what he's doing is the 2 big buildings in the middle do block line of sight. They're pretty tall, so I think he's trying to use that to his benefit with something he's got a unit Carrick Acolytes on that side, so those Kurnoth can't see it.
Yeah,
so he's going to be hiding behind those and using those pieces of terrain to his advantage. There's 2 towers, the smaller ones that are kind of like in the top, you see where Caleb's hands are now, and then next to Alariel, those are garrisonable. And then they're a little hard to see, but there's 2 pieces of ruins terrains. They're just going to provide cover if you're holding
Yep.
within them. But Caleb making sure to use the terrain to his advantage too. Make
Yep.
sure block line of sight. Well, 40k is, but
Yeah.
it's Warhammer.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you've got to use every tool possible in these games, especially against really high-level opponents. I think we might have just seen to the right-hand side of the right building, we might have seen Caleb positioning out his burning sigil there. Yeah, we can't quite see it, but he's just been measuring it. He's looking. Look, yeah. I think what he's got
I'll
his
get
hands
some
on.
confirmations on, especially on where his little heroes are and what the Heartwood targets are.
Yeah, sweet. Sounds good. We can read a game of Warhammer as well, Emma. Right? We've done this before. Are you going to leave me to it?
I'm gonna leave you 2 for a minute. I'm gonna check in on
Okay.
status on-
It's just you and me. It's just you and me. Okay, chat. Who do we think is going to take this out? Okay, I'm getting a little bit of feedback there about Emma being a bit lower, so I will ask her to get closer to the mic. But yeah, Emma's just going to have a little look at the table. It looks like Caleb's just tweaking his deployment slightly, obviously respecting everything that Math can do. I think we can probably see from Math's deployment, he's got the unit of 3 Kernoths with bows in the woods on the objective, and then a screen of tree revs, and then everything else behind. So the arch rev, Alariel, the 6 bows, and the Gossamids, all ready to kind of spring forward and play reactively. Francesco rooting for Math, being a tree bro. I mean, he's also a really nice man, and a really excellent player, so I'm not surprised. How are we looking?
On the building to the right-hand side, that is where the sigil is, and he is measuring out for like spell portal there. Caleb's still kind of deploying, so we have to wait for that before the Heartwood targets are declared. But he does have his smaller wizards like right on that center objective in the top.
Okay.
Kind of out and open because they are protected by that lookout surge.
Yes.
New change
Yep.
where they can't be seen by more than 12 inches away if they're benefiting from lookout surge.
Yeah, I've got to think that. I've got to think that Caleb's gonna wanna. Here we go. There's the handshake. I think he's gonna have to make that Kronspine relevant real quick.
Listen and see if I get the Heartwood.
Yep, you got it. Wow, me.
These just drop tokens next time.
Very nice. Got Micah in the chat thinking that Caleb should, when he gets turn 1, he should just go for a 0-point turn, which is interesting. I mean, that is one way of guaranteeing that he's going to at least get a roll off. It's a really interesting mission. The first time I played this, I got done by the fact that I didn't really respect the conditions too well, and my opponent just kept winning priors and taking the objectives off.
So he's given the +1 hit to the Kronspine.
Okay, yeah.
A unit of 10 Carrick Acolytes.
Interesting.
And the word change.
Wow, okay. Okay, interesting. So he's looking to obviously try and leveling down the Incarnate from range is important. And I suppose once some of those endless spells are on the board, that's one way that the Kronspine, once it goes wild from Rupture, it can be fed those endlesses. So Math's very aware of everything that can happen here. So hopefully he's coming up with a plan. I think we've got... can see Phil Marshall has made his way to the table as well.
He is. He's just always there.
He's there.
An absolute menace.
Oh yeah, Micah has pointed out that he has deployed onto his objective, so he is going to score 1 and 2. So we are going to see a minimum 3-point turn here.
He did deploy on 2 of those objectives.
Oh, he's on 2, is he? Rather than interesting. That
He's
that
got
the tree rev's just kissing the edge of that left hand one.
Yep.
Okay.
And then there's Kurnoth tagging that other one.
So we're going through the usual start stuff here. Some primal dice being rolled for. It looks like We've got the score sheet really nice and clear on our screen, so we can track that. Look at you go. This is great.
I taped it down. They tried moving it before, and I did tape it down so that way it's just always in the camera.
Great.
There.
So hopefully we'll be able to bring all the correct information as we go through, right?
And with the flip of the switch, we can.
Oh, wow. Look at you with the fade.
The super fancy, high-tech score sheet.
So he's gone for chicken. It says chicken, which I believe will be summon a chicken, turn 1. So he's going to want to get 9 fate points, and then get that extra Lord of Change on the board.
Absolutely. And he did roll his Destiny dice, and he's basically set 3 threes to the side to say, my grand strat's done.
Sweet. So he's got 3 points locked in already for his grand strat, which is the
classic.
classic.
Score till the end. So
No, but it's a classic Zinch play.
Yeah. Say, oh, did we even start playing yet? No, I'm 3 points up, by the way. You know, just little things.
I mean, that's why they're such a strong army, right? They've got decent battle tactics. They should always get 5 battle tactics and grand strat, so he should always score a minimum of 13 points with the Zinch army. And then it's all about the primary, and that's why this mission's so interesting, right? Because the primary is so it can fluctuate, you know.
Well, let's throw out the spell portal first. He wants to sling something through it. Not sure what he's going to be able to hit because of the woods blocking line of sight. And although Methmelo did deploy like on the edge of those woods, so those units can all be seen.
Yeah, but he'll have access to Virtuous Harmony, which is a spell from the lore to bring one back. And with 5 wounds apiece, I don't think he's too worried.
Zinch also very good at unbinding spells.
This is true. Yeah. Yes. But they don't unbind from anywhere on the board like those silly lizards. So, you know, he's got the opportunity with Primal Dice to push through those key spells.
I don't think there's a need to really sit too far back as Zinch because Sylvaneth's going to touch you from wherever.
Yep.
So there's no need to like really try to move back. I think he can play a little bit more aggressive than he normally would. And make sure he is in unbind range. Because Alariel's very far back, and so is that True Revenant's all the way in the corner. That Arch Revenant. And Arch Revenant is the Grand Strat, so he's got to keep Mr. President alive.
So it looks like we might have had a debuff come out. Does the Lord of Change get access to the full lore?
I don't think he gets access to. There's like a Mortal or an Arcanite lore. I think he just gets access to all of the Demon lore.
Gotcha.
I believe. I don't really play much Siege.
No, and again, it's not really that well seen. So yeah, he gets a +1 to cast bubble, cast 2, unbind 2, but no, he's got gateway from his War Scroll.
He also has Flaming Weapon and Ghost Mist, which Ghost Mist could be very clutch.
Yes, that could be very clutch in this matchup.
Ghost Mist makes a piece of terrain just function as a Wildwood, so you can't be seen if you're more than 3 inches through it.
Yeah, that's right. Mo in the chat. Caleb can't score 0 because he has deployed onto his objectives. And we are playing with clocks, are we not? Or are they? I don't think. Methmelo, regardless of whether clocks are in play or not, doesn't really play with clocks. He'll get through his game. So, I think that they're having a pretty chill game here. Chill top table. That's Methmelo in a sentence. To be honest with you,
Sounds lit, like team lit.
Totally lit. Yeah. Shout out Team Lit, by the way, and shout out Tough Crowd. And any other clubs? Got any clubs to shout out?
Oh, Crown Base Heroes, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously.
My friends in Wicked Dicey, they're hosting a huge event in Boston.
Oh, really?
Neverwinter.
I might come. I might also go to Everwinter as well.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Boston area, and I think it's the second weekend in
Yes.
December, check it out. Tons of different game systems, seminars.
Yeah, Corey always runs a really good AoS event. I know some friends went over last year, so I would like to try and go. And then if you go, you might see Caleb's Christmas-themed army, because that's one time of year where it would be perfectly relevant. So we're seeing the Kronspine come forward. There's some real, It's the silverback move of both fists on the table, deep in thought, right? That was Caleb's power move there. I might just go and have a little look at the table myself and see if I can see what that debuff that's on Alariel is. And see if there's any other, because they're both really good with tokens and stuff. They'll probably be able to read the table. So I'm going to go and have a little. I just want to go and have a look at Matt's face as well, see how happy he is.
I'll try not to talk too badly of you in your
Please
absence.
don't. And chat, remind me. Like if she's like talking bad on me, you need to pull her up on it.
So, looks like Caleb is tagging that top right objective. So I'm kind of curious to see if he is really looking to just score the max 5. I know Math would prefer to score less, so maybe he could potentially burn 2 of Caleb's objectives and force the Zinch out of their bubble. The only risk of that would just be that there's the entire Zinch army coming into Sylvaneth's face too soon. Sylvaneth not really known for their durability and ability to just sit on objectives because they don't have any ward saves. They can potentially bring back. Oh, I'll have to move a little closer to the mic. Sorry about that. Thanks for warning me. Hello, everybody. So, no word saves in Sylvaneth. He does have the spell from the spell lore that Alariel can cast to potentially bring back a Kernoth Hunter. Not the most reliable against Zinch. So, Caleb is going to be able to, potentially unbind that with his turn the lowest to highest, +1. Apparently I'm a bit low.
Really?
Is Owen low?
No, I'm always high. High and happy. High on life, just to clarify.
High on life.
So, news from the table. The token, the debuff that went on Alariel was Arcane Suggestion through the spell portal. So she's -1 to hit and wound, which is going to be nice to slow down some of that damage. And the play that we're going to see is, so the building to the right-hand side, of which the Kronspine is just north of, behind that building on the right, there is both the spell portal, which is what the spell was cast through, plus a sigil. So what Caleb's going to be able to do is charge, because you can charge an endless spell with the Kronspine, right?
Yep.
So he's going to charge the spell portal. The Kronspine does have Rupture cast on it, so it is wild. It can then go up to level 3 and then pile in to those 3 bow hunters. So, yeah, this is what Math described he expected to happen turn 1, and that's why he hasn't really got anything too important up front there. I'm still confident that those 3 bows should survive a Kronspine, so it's going to be on a 2-up save.
Yeah, they're in cover.
Yeah. Math was very sad that Alariel failed the 4-up ignore on the -1 to hit and wound spell. So that Radiant Spirit isn't particularly radiant at the moment.
He told me he was really good at rolling the 4-ups. I'm not sure what happened.
He just hasn't powered up yet. Maybe he's saving it for the 4-ups to hit that he's going to need to roll now on Alariel, now that she's -1 to hit and wound. We'll see.
Now, there's always a chance, though, when Caleb goes to eat the spell portal, that he fails.
Oh, that's a huge roll,
goes
actually.
down a level.
Oh my god, don't. Okay, so here we're seeing this is the end of the movement phase, so we're seeing our
chicken summoned.
a festive chicken, a turkey perhaps. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to have...
Can we call it a 2-point chicken, because that just scored him 2 points?
Yes, yeah, a twofer. We got it. A twofer. Yeah, so we got 2 chickens and a Kronspine on the table. And we're going to see this Kronspine probably come in, and it's kind of the turn I was expecting to see. He's also consolidated his castle. He started wide, and then he's brought everything together, right? Again, I don't know how much of a standard sort of Caleb deployment this is, but it's a pretty tight castle there.
From my experience with playing against Caleb and also watching his games, this is really how he plays. He loves this little bubble.
Yep.
Just protecting everything, because Alariel has that chance where she's got the Talon of the Dwindling.
Yes.
And if she wounds you with it, with the whole Ren 0-1 damage, if she wounds a hero with it, at the end of the combat phase, on a 5-up, they die.
Well,
Or is it 5-up or 6?
It's I think it's a 6.
On a 6, they die. So it's very low chance. Well, there's a chance that if she gets into one of those chickens, wounds it, You never know.
It's
And that
all-
can swing a game.
That's also a way that he can level down the Incarnate 2 levels in one turn. Because any ability that auto-slays something can drop the Incarnate down a level. So, for example, if you can Hand of Dust with Nagash and then also level it down in the combat phase, you can take it down 2 levels. The danger is that if you put a monster into the Incarnate and then it powers up and kills the monster, then it's going to level back up again. So, it's a complicated game, right?
It is.
Why do we do this?
The double endless spell over there also means that in the next turn, you could potentially eat the other endless spell.
Yep. Unless Math can... Oh, yeah, he's not going to be able to dispel it turn 1, because it's... So if he eats... The play would be to eat the spell portal, and then he's left himself with a sigil snack.
Or could he... Is he allowed to try to eat the sigil and the sigil just not be removed because it can't be dispelled?
See, this is getting this is some real gamey stuff. You're getting into the weeds there. I don't play that way. But potentially, who knows? That sounds like it's a question for a greater mind than me. Obviously, because I lose all the time, right? I don't know what I'm talking about.
We're going to see. I think...
This looks like this might be our charge roll, because you've got 2d6. That looks pretty reasonable.
7.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Lord of Change shooting.
Ah, yeah. Oh, that was the 2d6 shots. Yeah,
2d6
cool.
shots.
Nice.
So, Lords of Change, 2d6 shooting. I think Ren 1 damage.
Yeah, I have heard that's how he equips all of his Lords of Change when they come on. They all have Flaming Weapon, and they all have the staff. Because obviously, when you bring it on, you can choose its profile, whether it's a combat chicken or a shooty chicken.
Already going for those Tree Revenants, which I was surprised he left those Tree Revenants all the way up there in the open like that. I'm surprised he didn't try to keep them a little further back or hidden, because they do have the ability to teleport. And,
Yeah,
I don't know what was really being gained from the Tree Revenants out there.
I mean, if Caleb deploys super aggressive, like for example with the Cronspine right in the middle of the board, then I think that they get pinned. He gets pinned back a bit too far.
Just to prevent it from getting an Alariel turn 1.
Yeah.
Sacrifice the Tree Revs.
And to be honest with you, oh no, looks like he's picked them all up. Okay.
They're gone.
Well, that's pretty big. That's pretty good for Caleb. We were really happy about that, because you get a free all-out defense every turn with the tree revs. So they would have been on a 4-up save effectively, which.
And in combat, they're kind of a little deceptive, because they all have Ren 1 damage, and then the little champ has 2 damage on his weapons. So
they can
you
do
actually sneak in there and pop a little wizard off.
Oof, there we go. Look at that. The Incarnate. He's made a big charge in.
Just like the Owen Jackson predicted.
What can I say?
Now here's the main thing. Does he fail to eat it or not?
Yikes! Yeah, that'll be the. So that'll be. Does it? Is it a monstrous action to do that?
Yep.
It is. Yeah.
So he's not going to be able to roar.
Here we. Okay.
These are Unleash Hell.
Yep.
Happening.
Yeah, that's the thing again. A swing here would be if he can, somehow level down this Incarnate. I think we've got 2 wounds go through there, which it's something.
I've had. We're doing the spell. Yep, he's just eaten the spell, so he's leveled up to level 3. I have had an Incarnate D-level with just 6 wounds taken. I'm very bad at Warhammer.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's bad. That's great as well. That's a free way of dispelling that portal, so he's got it available to cast somewhere new on it if he gets Prio into 2 as well. So sneaky. So now we've got some Kurnoth who are going to be on a 2-up save, ignoring Ren 1.
This is exactly where he wants this Incarnate, just locked up with 3 Kurnoth Hunters that are just sitting in cover.
Yep.
So, not sure if I really would have wanted to send in the Incarnate here, just because it's only locking up the shooting, which he could just teleport them out if he really wanted, but I mean, he is just locking up the shooting, saying you're going to just shoot this Incarnate. But that also means the Incarnate is just stuck in combat with something that's not going to kill in a turn or even 2.
Yeah, but then we are playing a dice game, right? So Caleb could spike. It looks like he's got a decent amount of wounds through there.
Good.
And I think this is our 2 damage profile, right?
Yep.
Well, I think they're Ren 2, damage 2. So what has he done here? He's picked up.
Kill one.
Yep, picked up 2, in fact.
I did not see that one coming.
No, I think that these Kernoth might go. So this is the damage. Ren 3, damage 4. We've got, I think, 3 hits. Looks like 2 wounds.
If either of those go through.
Bosh.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
This might change the entire game right there.
Yeah, that's not good.
As little, as odd as that sounds, just losing a unit of 3 Crown Hunters, that might actually.
Yeah,
change
because
the
they're not.
entire game.
Yeah, they're not stuck at all now. That's rough for Math, but it doesn't really change the way he wants to play. It probably means that he's going to get the hell out of dodge now and reposition his castle. Yeah, Toby in the chat there, that was very unlucky. I think it was the damage 2 that went through. I think he had a lot of saves to make.
7.
Yeah, and I think he must have failed 5 to let 10 damage go through, which is not statistical, but
So 5-point turn there for Caleb.
Yep. Doesn't change the way that Math wants to play the game at all. It would have just been nice to have, 1.5 left. We're still probably going to see, another 3 come out. He's going to have like 9 bows, whilst it's not 12. It's still enough output to do what he needs to do in terms of, taking out the scoring units, making the castle a little bit more vulnerable. But he is going to have to figure out a way to deal with that incarnate now.
Yeah, a level of 3 incarnate just sitting there in your face, that's a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a whole new puzzle he's gonna have to solve here.
The Teos just walked around the corner and done a yikes face at us. Cheers, Tom. We were thinking the same thing. Math is an incredibly resilient player, though, like very mentally strong. He's not going to let that get to him. So let's see. He might double now, and even if he doesn't double, then he'll be laser focused on what he needs to do. So it'll be interesting to see what his battle tactic's going to be.
I can't see his face, but I'm sure he made the same face that Phil Marshall has on that screen when he saw his Kernoth Hunters get picked up.
Yeah, exactly. The look of horror. Yeah. Breaking Tad, can we turn Emma's mic up? You just got to get closer to me, Emma.
I'm about to get closer.
That's not normally a problem, right?
I'm going to get as close as we can.
Okay, we're real close. Hopefully that's better. Maybe I'm just a blowhard who's just really loud all the time.
You are English.
I'm not actually. I'm Welsh. So can I swear on this stream or not?
I don't.
Let's not. But
We're keeping this
I'm
kind of
absolutely
family friendly.
okay. Well, inside I'm really not family friendly at all. Raging. Yeah.
No, much love for all of our friends who've come from overseas.
Mm-hmm.
We got Owen here. Math came from the UK.
Yep. He didn't actually. He's moved to the Netherlands now.
What?
But your point
Oh, he moved to
stands.
Netherlands?
Yeah, yeah.
I
He's
didn't even know.
he's checked out of the UK.
Wow.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
When did that happen?
A few months ago, after Worlds. Yeah, yeah.
I'm out of the loop.
He's an international man. But yeah, we're here representing. He's representing better than me at the moment, obviously. But we still got the whole GT tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got 8-round GT coming,
Yep.
and we're gonna be streaming it here. And good news is, if you're watching, you've already found where we're gonna be streaming the GT. So
Yeah, this is it, right?
this is it.
Amazing. I'm going to play in it. Hopefully longer than I played today.
So the GT is happening Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
It's 5 rounds, and then it'll be a top 8 kind of cut where top 8 players will be put in their own pod.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else will have the opportunity to either drop after the traditional kind of 5-round GT experience. If they want to play on, they'll put them in their own kind of pods
Yep.
with players that finished around the same level, and they'll play their own.
Amazing.
So everybody will have the chance to either play a 5-round GT or the full 8.
And then obviously we've got the Invitational going on now. Plus there's a doubles and an RTT.
And an RTT right now.
This is-
And because that's not enough AoS here.
Go. What else
There
is
is a
there?
narrative going on.
Amazing. Okay.
That's happening
What is that? I don't recognize that type of game. What is it called?
Narrative's
Narrative?
amazing.
Really?
It's my first year not playing the narrative here.
Really?
I've played it the last 3 times.
You're really thirsty and competitive, though, Emma. What are you doing playing the narrative?
Oh, it's amazing. Sometimes
Really?
you
Okay.
gotta play for the lore.
Okay. I'm not sure. I'm speechless for the first time today.
Narrative's great. It's such a great crowd.
Oh,
some
yeah.
people-
No shade. I just don't know what you're talking about.
No, some people don't. They love the game, but the competitive scene's not really for them.
Okay.
The narrative's great. They've got all these sorts of custom tables. The terrain looks amazing on those.
Oh, wow. Oh, I have seen... Actually, I was really tempted. Math was saying he might drop from the AoS because he really likes the look of the Middle-earth boards. Like
the Middle-earth ones.
Yeah. And we're here as part of a huge convention as well, right? There's
Absolutely.
there's people playing the Space Laser game somewhere else. What's it called again? 40K?
It's a small indie game called
Yeah.
Warhammer 40
K.
000.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Math is kind of playing that game here, right, with all of his little bows and arrows. I'm not sure if everyone's been watching what he's up to.
Does he know what he's up to?
I think so. Yeah, we've clarified that. He's going to be just fine. The board state can change dramatically once we get into the movement phase because he's got the teleport, everything's super fast. We're going to see a new unit come out of Alariel. She can summon, another 3 bows, some more, a tree lord perhaps. I've seen some cute plays where you can summon a tree lord and then smash a piece of faction terrain, which is a cute play.
I'm a huge fan of summoning tree lords. I've taken Alariel to a couple RTPs, and I don't bring anything else but just a tree lord.
Really? I mean, tree lords are really good now, right?
They're
like
so
that
good.
Oakenbrow tree
They've
lord.
always been good.
I'm not sure. I disagree. They were my first
A
army.
fight lasts monstrous
Okay,
stage,
yeah.
and then you cannot pile in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The new tree lord is good. The old tree lord not so good.
Oh yeah, ever since the new Sylvaneth book dropped, that tree lord has been amazing.
The Lord meta. We've had Jacob Berry. What's the score? What's died? So we've had a 5-point turn from Caleb, and he actually overperformed, didn't he, with that Cronspine?
Very overperformed. Nobody thought it could do it. Cronspine said, "Watch this. I've been eating my Wheaties. Been working out."
Yep.
And he picked up 3 Kurnoth Hunters that were in cover.
On a 2-up save, ignoring Rend 1. Yeah. And he also losing all those tree revs was not great either. So yeah, Math. We gave him the big build-up, and he did the right thing. He gave away turn 1. Caleb played a great turn 1, and then spiked a few rolls because we play a dice game, and that's given him a little bit of an edge at this moment.
So the Cronspine is on level 3 because he was able to rupture it, so it's wild, and then eat the spell portal.
Eat his own spell portal.
Alariel also has Arcane Suggestion on her, so she's -1 to hit and wound.
Yep.
So a lot of the output's already getting a little diminished here.
Okay, so Alariel's coming forward towards...
The Cronspine. Looks like he wants to try to de-level the Cronspine.
Yikes. I mean, it'll be interesting. I might go and see on the table, because if he got like a Metamorphosis off, which would be a spell into the Cronspine, that would have put, on average, maybe like something in the region, depending on the roll, like 6 to 8 mortal wounds. Let's find out what that battle tactic is. I'm going to go to the table. I'll be right back.
Yeah, see what your boy's doing over there.
I'm going to see.
What? You hyped him up a bit. What's this man doing?
He's worth the hype, don't worry.
So, Owen's just checking in, seeing if we get the battle tactic update for the turn. Math able to make some of the pieces of terrain overgrown, so we can teleport to them, because you don't want to be stuck in combat with a Cronspine. So Alariel's going to be charging in there, trying to de-level it, and then teleport out with Strike and Fade, so the Cronspine can't swing back. He needs to be doing a lot of careful measurements, because he needs to find that sweet spot of where he wants to pop up at. Because you don't want to pop up in range of any of the Tzeentch spellcasting. So there's also the threat of the Tzeentch shooting phase, between being able to throw out a Purple Sun, put -1 to save on you, and the volume of shooting from Carrick Acolytes and 2 Lords of Change with their 2d6 shots each could be enough to get through Alariel, who's got a base save of 3 up, would have access to Alt Defense for +1 save, but no word save. So she can be pretty squishy if you're able to get into her. he still has a unit of 6 Chronoth Hunters with bows in the Wildwoods at the bottom right, as well as his general, which is the Arch Revenant. But he's down to 3 units plus his Gossamet Archers, so 4 units left on the table for Math Mallow. He'll be summoning another unit this turn. I'll check on the -1 to hit and wound. If it's only in melee, it's still huge because Alariel only has like 4 attacks from the Wardroth Beetle. So any minuses to hit or wound on attack profile of 4 attacks is huge. The Talon of the Dwindling is also 4 attacks, but it's Ren 0, 1 damage. But there's a potential for him to then roll the 6 and potentially D-level the Kronspine. So if he does wound with Alariel, at the end of that phase, he'll get to roll die. On a 6, the enemy model is slain, so the Kronspine, it would just automatically D-level it by 1. And she has -1 to hit and wound, melee and shooting. She does throw her Spear of Kurnoth in the shooting phase. 24 inch range shooting, flat 6 damage. Unfortunately, she still hasn't learned how to wield it in melee. So she's got a huge spear. She's able to throw every shooting phase, but she's not able to hit anybody with it in the melee phase. So maybe next Battle Tome she'll learn how to wield the Staff of Kurnoth as a melee weapon, but still not right now.
Okay, some hot tea from the table.
Ooh.
So the Kronspine is only level 2 because Math, whilst he lost the 3 Kurnoths, he was able to down level it on Caleb's turn.
Really?
Yeah.
How much damage? He did a lot of damage at Unleash then.
Yeah, he did a decent amount of damage with the Unleash. And then Caleb rolled pretty badly. We did see a Metamorphosis cast on it on a 14, but it was unbound on a 15, which would have done a decent amount of damage.
Caleb does that.
Yeah.
I once had a 16 cast against him, and he just auto-unbound me.
Yeah, he's at +3 at the moment, and he's got rerolls. So what we're seeing is Math is not running away from the Kronspine. It's looking to take it down another level. I'm pretty confident. So here, this is the summon coming out now. I'd imagine it's going to be 3 bows.
It is. And it's the same ones that he just got rid of the last turn.
But he doesn't need to pump everything into that Kronspine.
I saw when he moved Alariel, he did measure to get line of sight to the units on that objective in the middle.
Yep.
So he is making sure that he does have that shooting paths to.
Yeah. He really does need to spread damage. He's positioned the Arch Revenant right in the back corner, so that bubble of Spell Ignore and the +1 to wound is going to be hitting all of those hunters. And the battle tactic is strike and fade. So Alariel, whilst she is going to go in and commit to the Kronspine, she's not going to be sticking with him. She's going to get out of there because the fade is a teleport away and it doesn't count as a move, so can get away from the no retreat rules that the Kronspine has. So,
if you're joining us now, welcome. We're in round 2 of the Nova Open Invitational. This is in Washington, D.C., capital of the United States.
Yes.
Where freedom was born.
And where Kurnoths die, it seems.
Apparently, Kurnoth just gets spiked and blown away, but they come back.
And where my dreams also die after a shocking round 1.
Right.
At some point, I might walk around and see what the state of play is on the table. I just bumped into some players who are turning up to play in the full GT tomorrow. So Gavin Gregor's out there. The Nuge, Matt, has just come in from SoCal. So, yeah, players are filtering in and swimming around the top tables, which is exciting. Incarnate is level 2, yes, Greg. Got lots of Team Lit and Welsh buddies in the chat here watching their teammate. So Matt is going to get himself at least 3 points this turn, and then he's going to be able to delete some objectives. Obviously, Caleb knows that that's going to happen, and I think that his castle is set up in such a way that it can split up to go
he
where.
Can maneuver. He did position those Zangors on the left, so that way they can reach that bottom left objective as well. And his castle is in a position where he can go, south on our screen to get that bottom objective, or up to that top right.
Okay, so here we are. We're seeing some models being removed from the center there. That would have either been the Zangor or the Kyrix. So again, just limiting the scoring models, and he's going to be just incrementally shooting out these units of hunters.
Was he able to get Tree Song off for Lariel?
Ooh, interesting. I'm not sure. But I don't think he needs it anyway. I think he's going to level down this Incarnate. He's going to do the maths. He's going to probably put enough shooting in there, and then just pop in with a strike and fade, and get that down to a level 1. And then I think the play is going to be potentially win turn 2 prio, dispel the sigil so that the Kronspine can't eat it, and then take it off the board. And again, he can take the Kronspine off without having to engage it, and then he'll just have to set up really well for a potential Zinch double back.
If Math is able to win the priority and double, he can pick up that Kronspine.
Yes.
I think he's going to have to take it. Otherwise, that Kronspine is just going to level up again.
Yep.
And now the Lords of Change are also going to cost 18 summoning points for the second one, which we won't see another Lord of Change till turn 3. So there's going to be a little bit of a delay before anything Zinch shows back up.
Yes, that's right, Jacob. Galaxy Brain play is win the double. It wins tournaments, right?
Yeah. Did you think to do that in your last game?
I didn't. I wasn't
So
quite
that
up
was
to
the
speed
problem.
yet. Yeah, it's a shame. The sigil is to the right-hand side of the building.
Wedged between the building and the Kronspine there.
Yeah. I really like what Caleb's got with his Kronspine is he has loads of little yellow markers that just say wild animal. So he doesn't know, he knows not to go within 3 of it.
Yeah, all those yellow sticks are to signify wild.
Yeah.
You can say wild on it.
Just so he doesn't make a mistake and tags and fights his own stuff. Which would be really sad, right?
Oh, it's happens to the best of people too.
As in, you've done it to yourself?
No,
not you?
I did shoot somebody's general off turn 1, and it put the entire army in combat with this Kronspine.
Yikes.
And my poor opponent's first reaction was, not again.
Wow. If that happened to me before, I would never make that mistake again.
Jacob Brandon just won against Anthony Trentinelli in a pretty standard, strong fashion.
So,
Okay, well, we've literally just... I think somebody in the chat was asking how are the Cruel Boys getting on. I want to hear what the Cruel Boys did. Oh, did to me. Well, breaking Tad. It doesn't matter what they did to me. They've just beaten Anthony Trentinelli. So Jacob Brandon taking those Cruel
already
Boys.
taken a W
Yeah.
over Anthony Trentinelli's Slaves of Darkness with the Cruel Boys. So we're planning on streaming the winner of that game next round. Whoever wins this game, we're going to give a break for next round.
Makes sense.
So already Jacob Brandon locked himself into a stream game.
And he is going to be playing the winner of Tom Guan
and Alex
Cosgrove.
Cosgrove.
Yeah, so he'll be facing OBR or Soulblight.
Or zombies.
Yeah, Guana the Dead, I think his name is, isn't it? I've seen the picture doing the rounds. I don't think I've ever seen him happier than when he's playing with those stupid zombies. They really do fill his heart, right?
That's true. That's
Cruel Boys Summer indeed. Yeah, it's a really great Cruel Boys list, I'll be honest with you.
yeah. He had a lot of success with it at Summer Slaughter, but he's changed up the list in Summer Slaughter.
Yes, and Matt's phone background is Phil's face. So Phil Marshall has made his way to the top tables once again, even though he's not in this country.
What a terror that man is.
I know, he just can't stay away, right? Yeah, and what have we got in this half of the draw then? Let's have a little look. I'm going to have a little look at my... for some reason I did look about what my path to the final would be. I don't know why, So we've got, in this half of the draw, We have Anthony Lawrence with the he came through. He's currently playing against Caleb's brother Scooter. So we've got
Scooter was in the finals of Nova last year, but he was 7-0 with Pigs all the way up to the final, and then had to play Caleb.
yes, yeah, they're a true Warhammer family. Those guys, and he's the number 3 seed. Yeah, he's facing off against Anthony Lawrence, and then the winner of this game will play the winner of that game. Yeah, and also we have. Yeah, so it's Scooter against Anthony, and then Math against Caleb. So we could have both the Walters brothers in the semi again.
We could. I think the longer we wait for the result of the Scooter Anthony game, the more it's going to lean towards Anthony.
Yeah, once the Slanesh kind of debuff engine ramps up and they maybe gets that 5-up board. They do ramp really well into the late game, don't they, Slanesh?
Yeah, and he runs a very like MSU style Slanesh.
Mm-hmm.
So if a unit of pigs ends up in there, picks up a unit, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. He's not like going to lose huge big units of bliss barbs like we see often. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for the joke. Yeah, we appreciate you. Hearing some laughter from the table, which is always nice. Having a good time.
Another update. Tom Glon zombies continue to stand on objectives better than OBR.
Cool. Yes.
Tom Guan just came here to loiter,
Yep.
stand all over objectives, not do much else, and he's looking dominant against OBR. To no one's surprise.
Yep.
He did bring the Lock of Eye in his list as a secret anti-OBR tech, so he has access to like a monster for a roar.
Yep.
And then
And
also some extra rend.
She does 2 monstrous actions as well, so she can
Yep.
stomp and roar,
Roar
and
and
then
stomp.
then she worsens rend by 1, I believe, within 3.
Yep.
And then has the
pretty
hunger,
durable.
can heal up. Yeah, she's fun.
And also for that extra battle tactic, because she's also a War Master, she counts as a general.
Nice.
So you could use the battle tactic, or if she just heals with the hunger, 2 points.
Crafty. Also, she gets a 6-inch pile-in, I believe. So she's really nice into shooting because you can just pile in and not get an unleash hell. So yeah, but again, Tom's. You've got room in your list when you've got 140 zombies and the corpse carts and all that, and Gorslav and Torgilius and everything. Then I think he switched out. What's her name? The lady on the dogs.
No, still got that.
She's still in there.
She's too good.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, she's got a bubble that you put up, 6s to hit, become 2 hits.
Oh,
You
nice.
talk about zombies,
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
And then also her War Scroll spell just turns people into dogs.
Oh, so you can tag things in.
So you can tag things in combat, and then also if those dogs die, you can bring them back. Because the Endless Legions doesn't apply to just your starting army, it's just any of your summonable units die.
So then that's great
can
for the
bring them
grand
up, rounding
strat.
up.
Yeah, amazing. So we'd be lying if we didn't say that Tom Guan is the guy on the list to beat. So there we.
He prepped for OBR.
Yeah.
And his first 2 opponents were OBR.
So he's loving life, but he hasn't prepped for Cruel Boys. But I don't think he needs to. No.
I did play the zombies versus Cruel Boys before, and immediately knew on that pairing that sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Because Cruel Boys just don't have the damage output to deal with 200 wounds of bodies.
They're scalpel damage, aren't they? He has a Grave Tide and he has a load of monsters, but there we can see we've had the Strike and Fade happen. So Alariel came in and she's bounced out to the right-hand side there. We're going to have a roll now. A very important Prio.
Huge Prio.
I'm going to just nip to the table and find out, okay? Unless you want to go. Would you like to go and have a little look? Or are you happy to hold the
You
fort?
seem very excited.
I'm really excited.
I'll let you burn that energy. Owen had a massive chocolate chip cookie
I did.
beforehand.
Yeah. I need
He
the
is
steps, right?
wired.
Yeah, I'm wired for fun.
I believe that was the priority, and it looks like they tied. Owen getting the update. Owen is wearing just plain white socks that he has pulled up. Nothing too fancy about the Owen socks today.
Caleb wins private.
It was for 5.
And Matt did go for the baller play of trying to stab Talon into the con spine, but it didn't work.
So Caleb is 1 priority, and he's going to take it. Looks like he does have the opportunity of the Crown Spine right there with Alariel. If Alariel gets eaten up by the Crown Spine will level up right off of that. Math does have the ability to remove 2 of the objectives now. Caleb doing some measurements, deciding, do I even want the turn? His standard gorilla pose, 2 fists on a table, asserting dominance over his opponent. So, Caleb measuring all of his options, weighing in, figuring out what the plan is. There are quite a few on that objective. I'll have the update in a few about whether the Crown Spine went down to level 1. We do not have player audio, and we did set up the table far enough away so the players can't hear us, so we can talk freely. Looks like Caleb is still taking his time, weighing in on, what's Math really going to accomplish here. Does Caleb absolutely need to take this turn or not? Because Caleb doesn't have a whole lot to accomplish either. We're working on a table boss, Jacob. Our stream was put together last week. Lovely guy Aaron was able to volunteer his streaming setup. Luckily, I was able to make it over here on short notice. If you can make it out, Jacob, I'd love to have you as a table boss. We got 3 rounds of GT about to happen. We'll have 2 more rounds of the Invitational today. It'll be round 3. Be after this. We'll have Jacob Berry likely playing against Tom Guan in the winner of the Soulblight Zombie Loitering matchup versus OBR. Tom in a commanding lead right now. And then the winner of this match will play either Anthony Lawrence or Scooter Walters. So a Slanesh or Iron Jaws with the standard 2x6 pigs, Maw Crusher. So the winner of this one will have a break from stream for a round, and we might see them again in the final. You never know. So 2 more games after this today, and then we'll be streaming the 8-round GT starting tomorrow. First 3 rounds, 3 more on Saturday, and then the last 2 games will be on Sunday. Caleb's still taking his time, figuring out what Zincha's plan is right now. Math was very smart enough to stay out of range of all of the spell casting, reduce any threats back. He went 6-0 at Worlds this past year. So no stranger to the Alariel Sylvaneth game.
He does have the 4-up spell ignore bubble on his general. He's hidden down there in the bottom right corner. If you're in the Washington, D.C. area and you feel like you're missing out, feel free to come by. Nova Open at the Washington Hilton. It's never too late to register for the GT tomorrow. Love to have you. It's about 168 players registered for it, including the Owen Jackson, who's returning the table with all of the updates. All of them, I was promised.
All of them. Okay. So Caleb won the priority, which is probably obvious to everyone. Math has deleted the two most obvious objectives. So the one which is under the castle in the center, that blew up and killed a couple of Zangor, because obviously every unit takes D3 mortal wounds on a 4-up. And then Caleb spent a CP and rallied them back. So that nothing really happened there. So we've had essentially the central top objective and then the left-hand objective that those Kyrics are on the front of. They have both been removed. And there's been a lot of pre-measuring going on, looking over towards Alariel. She's finest houred. And Caleb was asking, how many wounds. I think we're going to see some aggressive movement, perhaps of the summoned chicken plus the Kronspine going over there towards the Everqueen. Not much more to report, to be honest with you. They've asked them that as soon as a battle tactic's chosen, it gets written up on the table there. But yeah, really very considered thought process there from Caleb. He did think a lot about whether he was going to take the turn or not. I think it's the right move, because otherwise he just loses the Kronspine. And yeah, we're going to see. I think he might swing for the Queen though here.
What level is the Kronspine?
So the Kronspine is level 1. Kronspine's level 1, and now it's not wild anymore, because obviously the rupture has fallen off. Obviously, rupture through the portal could be a thing, because that gives two. Essentially that's two benefits. One.
And it looks like that's exactly what he's setting up.
Oh really? Yeah.
He's measuring out the spell portal here, making sure it's within 3 of the Kronspine.
Crafty. Yeah. So then he can then charge it, level it up, do the whole trick again, and it'll be back up to level 2, which is a problem. Math felt that he was in a really, really strong position if he didn't lose both those units. One thing we hadn't picked up on is the bottom center objective, which is above Math's dice pool. There is a Christmas tree shaped spawn there. So the sigil popped off, and that's what softened up the tree revs for them to be then shot off. So yeah, it's very dark green, but at kind of like 2 o'clock on the objective marker, there's a Christmas-themed spawn in there, which is going to be useful for, again, shutting down some movement or maybe going in and tagging up. But yeah,
Caleb's currently ahead by 3 points because of that spawn.
Yeah, now Caleb, he's pretty resource light though. He has got 1 destiny dice left outside of the ones that make up the 9 for his grand strat. So he's got a single 6 left in his pool. That might explain how he was able to push so much damage through. But you can't use them on the Kronspine even, can you? So
no, you can't use them on the Kronspine. But you could use them on your spell casting, which he loves to do to make sure that he gets those off. Mm-hmm. And then also for just like your shooting, your hits to wounds.
Yep.
I'm not sure for the random characteristic of the 2d6 shots. I don't think that's
no, I don't think that's a thing. No. But yeah, this is looking at the board state. Once they move off, we've only got 4 objectives left, and it is going to mean that Caleb's going to have to break up his castle. But yeah, I think his key considerations here are powering back up and making wild that incarnate, and then coming in and pushing in as much damage as possible. I
think he's going to end up getting stuff on all of the objectives here.
Yep.
Put himself up another 5 points, and look across the table and say it's 10-2 you me.
Yeah.
So,
there's a lot of pressure there, definitely.
Yeah.
They drew Pryor on a drawn 5. Yeah. So I felt that it was Math's game coming in, as in on paper, but. That little spike, and now the prio. I think Caleb's in ascendancy here. I'm not sure what the chat feels. Rupture doesn't make Quan Spine wild for the rest of the game. It's just a
For
standard.
the rest of the battle.
Oh God, really? Stupid spell.
Very stupid spell.
Wow, that's crazy. I thought it would drop off. Oh my God.
So he's permanently ruptured.
Thank you in the chat. Thanks, Micah. That's that just goes to show how much that spell really, really, really needs to be changed. Yep. Yeah, so we haven't had the battle tactic confirmed yet, but I will endeavour to get that for you all. I can't imagine it'd be one that Caleb's going to struggle to get at this stage. They've both used book battle tactics there, showing how strong they are, especially if you're on turn 1, you don't want to compromise your general setup or anything. So here, this is the 10 Zangor, or I think they must be down to about 8 or so now, because they lost a couple from shooting and then they rallied a couple
It's like
back.
about 6.
Yeah, so there's the Zangor there, kind of opening the gate up for a Summon Lord of Change to come forward. So yeah, we have a level 1 Incarnate, but soon to be level 2, because it's going to be the enemies. Enemy and bunny ears.
Imagine if he like double ones.
Please.
And the Con Spine just goes
Yeah,
poof.
yeah, exactly. Destiny does that. I swore at the end then, but only in my head. Yep. So here we go. Maybe he's just looking.
He wants to put all of this shooting Alariel. He wants Alariel dead. Doesn't even matter if he kills Alariel in the shooting phase. If Alariel's dead, that's
Yep.
a happy Caleb.
Yep. So yeah, we're going to see 4d6 shots.
Quite a few shots.
But she is finest hour. She's got
and we'll
that.
have all defense.
Yeah, she's got that 2-up save. So
Against all that Ren 1, she'll still be on a 2-up.
I can't see her going down here. I mean, unless that Incarnate just absolutely pops off.
Which he did turn 1.
Yeah, maybe he's relying on that.
Alariel normally would have the ability to retreat and charge, but if that Con Spine gets stuck in, she won't be able to retreat. But she'll be able to strike and fade away on Math's turn.
So Harrison in the chat saying, how is Alariel able to strike and fade? Do you not have to slay a model to be able? No, you don't have to slay a model. You just have to fight.
As soon as you fight,
Yeah, off you go.
In
Only
your
on
turn.
the Sylvaneth player's
only on
turn.
Sylvaneth turn.
But yeah. No, she is not -1 to hit and wound again, because that was just from the Arcane Suggestion, which came off turn 1.
it fell off.
Just because it changes the maths quite a bit, and obviously, yes, it's just the two of us today, right? We don't have a table boss, unfortunately, but we're trying to read the table as best we can. And I'm going to run off and have a see if we've got a debuff on our queen.
Queen, I'm curious if he was able to get Holly put the -1 save in.
Yeah,
Instead.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Because that's the beauty of that spell, right?
Does whatever you need it to do. So Caleb did move the 1 unit of Carrick Acolytes to the bottom left, tag that objective. So he's currently on all 4 objectives for Zinch. Sylvaneth hasn't scored any of the primary objectives and currently controls 0 of them. The 2 on your top left have already been burnt. So those are gone, and we're down to a 4 objective mission right now. And also hello to any new viewers who are just tuning in. This is Nova Open, Age of Sigmar Invitational, Round 2. From Washington, D.C. at the Washington Hilton. If you're in the D.C. area, come check us out. There's currently a doubles tournament going on with, I think, 28 teams. There's an RTT happening on the other side of our hall. There's an Age of Sigmar narrative event. We also have Middle Earth SPG happening in this hall, as well as, I believe, Star Wars Legion this year. The entire 40K event happening in a room that looks absolutely gorgeous. And then there's so many other game systems here and seminars. Nova Open happens here every year. same weekend. So if you want to come by next year, plan it out. There's something for everybody here. So Caleb's kind of exploded out of his castle. He's spread himself pretty thin, but there's not a whole lot of threats in place from Sylvaneth. He's got one unit Carrick Acolytes right up the middle with the Chaos Spawn on that bottom objective. Sylvaneth are able to teleport around the board to Overgrown and to Awaken Wildwoods, wholly within 9 of it and 9 from enemy units. L'Oreal once per game can make everything Overgrown, so she could potentially just teleport wherever.
Okay.
And this is top of 2, and we already have an oof coming from Owen with an update.
An oof. Yeah, so Alariel's taken 11 wounds already.
11 wounds.
We didn't see Arcane Suggestion came through. We saw Zinch's Firestorm came through and did 8 wounds in the hero phase. And now the 2 chickens have lined up, and they're just like pumping shots in. I thought that the chickens shot at 12, but they shoot at 18. So yeah, she's got 5 wounds left. And now what we're seeing is an Incarnate charging its own, well, not its own, an enemy in bunny ears, Umbral Spell Portal, which is then going to be eaten, and then it's going to be able to pile in to Alariel and be a level 2. Now, she's going to have a 2-up save, but the maths does not look good in maths' favour right here. See what I did there?
I couldn't have done it any better than that.
Thank you, Emma. So yeah, math needs to. Whose clock is low? This is taking forever. Yeah. In fact, Mike Vaginos, one of the TOs, did come over and say, we better speed this up a bit. So yeah, they'll get through. They'll be fine. Don't you worry.
We knew this was going to be. This is a very technical game.
Yep.
This was not going to be a very quick one of
No.
Iron Jaws and pigs.
Doom Wheels.
Yeah, we picked this matchup because it was going to be a very technical.
Yes, and it's proven to be so, right?
It's very technical. Yep. The
So-
masterclass of Zinch and Sylvaneth right here.
Indeed. Yep. And just a few dice rolls have really defined this game so far. The Cronspine overperformed, and then we've had that prior roll. And like you say, Caleb's going to be very happy with, even if he doesn't pick up Alariel here, he's going to be very happy with kind of going into turn 2 for math, being like, sweet. Well, look, I've pretty much got the board here. It's 10 points to 2. What are you going to do?
No, and I don't really see a way that Matt's going to be able to score 5 points on his turn just because of how spread everything is.
He is a bit of a mathster, though, so he's going to be fine. He's going to be just fine. Don't worry.
Depends. Whether Ilario lives or not, that's going to be huge this turn.
So it looks like the Cronspine is fine, and the portal the portal was successfully snaffled up, and now it's into the Queen. Come on, Alariel. I'm sure that the chat want Alariel to win out over a stupid Cronspine.
Absolutely.
One of the most toxic parts of the game since its inception. Monkey Gaming, I'm not sure what time on the round. Math does play very fast though, so let's just we're confident.
Matt's world-class player. He doesn't
Yep.
have a lot of units too. So
No, he'll go fast. And they were warned by the tier that they need to pick up a little bit, so
Yep. We knew the first few turns of this were going to be the longest. That's where
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
is gonna be decided. Because as the game progresses, objectives are going to be removed to the table, and a lot of those decisions are going to start getting removed.
yeah, exactly. I mean, all of Caleb's turn here is essentially just based around picking up Alariel and getting himself 5 points. Like, if you think about it, he's still got 9 hunters and the Gossamids left, and all the tricks that Sylvaneth can do. They're going to be able to get on points and clear off units. So that is our Queen down, though.
She's down, but she could potentially come back later.
And the annoying thing about that is that means that the Cronspine levels up again.
It's a level 3.
This is so gross. Oh, math.
There's level 3 Cronspine, tagging the one objective.
He's already got the chicken and some Zangors tagging that top one. Mm-hmm. There's a single Chaos Spawn on the bottom objective, and it looks like just one Carrick Acolyte's towing in on that bottom left objective.
Yep.
So those are the easiest ones to get through. But Matt's probably going to have to reposition his castle here of
So
Math Hunters and get them away from a level 3 Kronspine.
yeah, I mean, there's a question in the chat about how Alaro comes back. I'm pretty sure it's
So it's you roll a die and you add the battle round to it. And
Yeah.
on a 6-up, she comes back with half the wounds
Yeah.
allocated to her. And it's at the end of the movement phase, so she can't even heal or cast any spells that turn.
yeah.
So on turn 5, it's guaranteed. Mm-hmm. But any turn before that, there's a chance that she doesn't come back, and you can only attempt it once per battle.
Yeah, so he's going to have to roll a 4-up to get her back this turn. So I don't know if he'll be motivated to do that.
That's the risky part of when he chooses to. She's not the general, so he'll still be getting the command points in. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's really excellent play again there by Caleb. And I know that we've ragged on the Kronspine a little bit, and I really do hate that thing. But, like, he's a bit of a master playing with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was so close to just dying, and he was like, if he loses that Prio into 2, then the Kronspine's down, and now it's topped all the way back up to 3, and he was able to pick up over 800 points of Math's army, whilst, dominating the board state.
The Kronspine now.
Yeah.
Kronspine's batting 1,000. We got Sean Clark in chat, Captain Team America this year.
What a legend! Love that guy. Is
Captain
that
America.
Nuke Doctor? Is that the guy?
That's him.
I love that guy. Yeah, congratulations to him on the captaincy. I had a train up with Noah from the American team, and he was saying about how much of a natural choice Sean was. So yeah, looking forward to seeing those guys in Amsterdam again. So yeah, this is not gone how I thought it was going to go. Maybe that's pretty endemic of me and Warhammer in general.
I think we're just going to have to stop making guesses on this stream.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do we know about Warhammer anyway?
Hey, we've all got opinions, right? They're like, I'm not going to say that actually. No. Everyone's got one, and we had an incorrect opinion early on. But I still have every faith in him. Like, Math, his back is against the wall here, but he'll know that, and he'll be playing to his outs. He might be going for something big over the course of a double here. I would like to see that castle will have to move now, though.
That's rough, and he can only teleport one of those units out in the movement phase, but he could potentially find something to strike and fade into and then use that to teleport the other unit. Mm-hmm. So he could use that Kronspine there to send the 3 bow crown hunters into, charge into it, and then strike and fade out from the Kronspine.
Cute. Yeah, there's a high level of skill expression here on this table, plus a Kronspine incarnate of Gur. Well, actually, no, to be fair, like, Caleb's been playing with the Kronspine, like a lot of people, Kronspine players, it's just yeet it forward, but in Tzeentch, it's so techy, and yeah, he's made all the right plays. I think there is a nice battle tactic which is opened up here for Math, which is to kill something which is adjacent to some trees, so that might be quite an easy one for him. Obviously, it's not going to be an incarnate, but that spawn, that Christmassy spawn, could potentially bite it here. Math just needs to keep locking in, a battle tactic and at least 1-2, maybe not more. If he can get a 4-point turn here, and then regardless of whether he wins Prio or loses Prio, he's going to be able to remove another 2 objectives and, control the board state from an objective point of view. And then, if he wins that Prio as well, clears the board and then dominate. Like, he just needs to get away from that incarnate.
Yeah, and Caleb did, heavily move to that top right corner. So Math could kind of teleport everything to the bottom left and say, you know what, these are the objectives. Or potentially leave an objective on that far side to say, I'm going to split this up a little bit. But the problem with that is he's down so far in points But I think he does need to start cleaning up some of these other smaller units, these Carrick Acolytes, get that spawn out of the way.
Yep.
He needs to start dealing with these units, because he hasn't really killed any units yet.
No.
Like, Caleb still has all of his toys, and every unit he has on table is something that can score objectives. And Sylvaneth doesn't have a lot of bodies to cap objectives with. The Crown Hunters count for 2 each on objective. Other than that, he's just got a unit Gossamer Archers. So just 10 Carrick Acolytes sitting on objective, it's a problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's got all the tricks, but no bodies right now, and no queen. The queen is gone. All hail the queen.
I'm
The
sure you
queen's
guys are
dead.
used to that over there.
What, queen's dying? Ho!
But this one will come back.
Yes. Whereas, yeah, I'm pretty sure the other one won't.
It might still be too early to tell.
Where are we going with this stream, man?
I don't know. Were you able to get a battle tactic?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get those. I'm gonna go get that updated for.
I'll get that.
Okay, yeah, I've been.
That's my
Yeah,
turn.
you go. You go. Thank you, Monkey Gaming. Yeah, I mean, that's my that's my MO as a player, and I would recommend to anybody, like, you got to just it's the Team Warhammer kind of perspective of you just keep scrapping. If you've got like one crazy out, no matter how wild it is, or how the probability isn't in your favor. I mean, I learned that from Darren Watson. It's better to try and go for a crazy win than just lose well. Like, never think, oh, I'm going to lose well here. So yeah, we're just having that scoreboard updated. So we had Intimidate Invaders. Yeah, so he did get that second 5-point turn. So we're looking at 10-2 on the scoreboard. And I'll be honest with you, like, the way that Math plays the game and plays this army, he's very used to being pinned off for long periods of time. This isn't like kind of... being in this position is not alien to him. And he's pretty philosophical. He's like, I'm down here, but let's keep going. What's the manner? What's the demeanor of the players on the table? We're just having some nice comments about how it's nice to see Math staying in there and hanging in there and kind of thinking to himself.
Math looks very focused.
Yeah, that's
he's gotten a very focused. Caleb's has taken a kind of seated position, kind of like. He's got the demeanor of, okay, I think I'm doing well, but like, he's bracing like he's never played Math before. Yeah, that's he doesn't.
Yeah. He probably has heard about him, and he knows that he's playing his favorite army, so he's kind of not getting too excited about the board position or the fact that he's got that powered up incarnate and things.
He's being very respectful.
Good.
His opponent going, okay, he's in a great position, but he's not getting ready to celebrate anything yet.
No. So we've seen the Gossamids have moved round, and they are now going to unload their shots into that spawn. This is on the center objective at the bottom there. So I think even if he doesn't pick up that spawn, he's still going to score 1 there.
You think he should shoot the spawn or the Carrick Acolytes in the middle there? Because the Gossamids outnumber the spawn, and then there's a chance on a 2-up he can unleash on the spawn, and then
yeah, that's
so
true.
The spawn can't do anything to him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he's playing for the double here, so he probably thinks to himself, clear that, and then it gives him more. Like the thing, whilst
Nope, he's going for the spawn. There's the wound counter.
Yeah, there's the wound counter down. Whilst he hasn't killed much from the Tzeentch army, he's going to want to clear it, because the thing that Caleb's done really well is obviously he's picked off some threats, and he's obviously picked up Alariel, but he's also dominating the board. And Sylvaneth don't like that. They want to have pockets to jump into. So I think that clearing out that spawn, which he has now successfully done, that opens up another little bit of room on the table, to potentially strike and fade to, maybe pop in a tree, although that's not available to him now without Alariel. That's a shame.
And removing Alariel allowed him to really expand and open up.
But to your point around the Kyrics, I've just seen a hand movement where we've seen the 6 bows are now going into the 10 Kyrics on the far left-hand side. So again, cleaning up. I'm not sure what they're then going to do. I don't know if there's any. Is there anything else on that objective other than the Kronspine?
No, the Kronspine's it for that objective.
He might have lined up some charge because he might want to basically multi-charge the Cronspine with all of the hunters to then get on the objective to score 1-2. 1-2 more and the battle tactic for 5, which is going to give us a 10-7, and then he'll still be down, so he'll be able to then delete another 2 objectives. This is not over, and again, that goes to the point we were talking about with Math. Like, he knows how this game is going to go from an objective point of view. So, you know, and with Ilariel still able to come back, yeah, it's still super tight.
He's not out of the woods yet.
Ho! I'm so proud of you. You come, yeah, this is great.
Leave it to Math.
Leave it to Math. Leave it to the Math. Oh God, this is great. I hope you're all enjoying it at home. Anyway, I'm having a nice time. Are you having a nice time?
I'm at Nova Open. How could you not have a nice time?
This is great, actually. Yeah, we're with our fellow nerds, aren't we?
Look at that whole unit of 10 Carracks. They gone.
See you later. Yeah, I mean that's no surprise. He may have even been able to split shot.
Does Matt have any like good like catchphrase tables? Like if he shoots him off, does he say like, yeah, resummon this, huh?
I don't think he had. No. He there is a Sylvaneth player in the UK that he designed a list solely so the whole army hit on 3s and 3s, but so that he could tell his opponent, right, this is trees and trees. Like, no, I'm not even making that up. That is a genuine thing. Like, he designed a list, and every profile in the army was trees and trees. Trees and trees, baby. Yeah. So, but no, I think Math is.
I would not get that joke.
No,
otherwise.
Really, without that full explanation.
I would.
Oh Jesus! I think the Cronspine's getting to us, isn't it? It's just. Oh yeah, yep. So he has charged in those 3.
Is he planning on leaving room for the 6 and try to get that on, or is he just going to go for the 4 points and use the Cronspine, the sling, this 3-man unit?
Oh, you know what he's doing? You know what? Yeah, he's using them to slingshot away.
This is some that overgrown that ruins that are there on the
so yeah, what he's done is he's shot the Kyrix off on the far left, so he's then going to be able to charge the Cronspine, maybe do a bit of chip, it doesn't matter, and then those pink baubles, they're going to be in the bottom corner, literally where Math's left hand is now. Those little puppies are going to be bouncing all the way over there, and that is also the board position that he wants to be in for the late game.
Yeah, that's
Okay, I'm taking bets. Math's winning this game.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I want to back my boy, but yeah, he's got. No, there they are. Look at that. The pom poms have teleported over.
Yeah, just because you have this ability that strike and fade to go in and chart and attack doesn't mean you actually do any damage with it. You can use it to just slingshot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's sweet tech in the hands of an experienced player, and yeah, Math knows what he's doing here, so this is great. What about Tree Fiddy? Oh, these puns make me want to leaf. Yo, we started something right here. We're the root of the problem.
This is Pete Warhammer right here.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about.
Exactly, like sick plays, good people, high level of punnery.
That's this is on the points from Math right here.
There's a big.
And we're gonna have a huge priority coming.
We are.
Massive.
Yeah, massive. If you. Whoa. I feel this game isn't remotely over yet. I mean, I think JB's he's
crushing it.
He's absolutely crushing. Okay, so there, kill near a tree. I was right. There we go. So he got 1-2, but not more. So that was a 4-point turn. So we're looking at 10-6.
You see, he's pining to see you again.
What a babe. I can't think of anything. I'm too invested in the game. But yeah, I love you too, JB. So 10-6, which means that Math is once again. We have a war in the room. Always an obnoxious thing to hear, but you know, live your best life, orc guys. So yeah, shall I run to the table and watch the prior roll? I think I need to give the stream a break from my babble of nonsense anyway.
You're signing off?
Oh no, for a second. Only just to go and see who's going to win the prio. I'll be back. I'll be right back. I'm having too much of a good time.
My friend, the Owen Jackson, is having a phenomenal time here. So he's got his bet in. He thinks his boy Math can take the dub. He is down by 4, but he will have the ability to torch 2 more of these objectives. So we'll have to get the updates too on which two he burns. He doesn't have to burn any objectives either. He has a choice of getting rid of 2, 1, or even 0. Big priority coming up soon.
Yeah, we've had a prior roll.
Oh, already?
So Caleb rolled a 1. Guess what Matt rolled?
A 1.
Yes. So we have Caleb winning prior again on a drawn 1.
Caleb is so good at Warhammer.
Yeah,
Roll
mate.
ones to
Yeah, man.
priority.
It's like my way. So other bits of information is that we have a level 2 Incarnate. We did see 9 damage go through to it, but that wasn't enough to level it down. He was just going for a bit of
I feel
cheap.
like it's like, is it worth it to just keep putting all the?
I mean,
I've seen
he.
a couple times where he's been able to get the Kron Spine down a level, but it just keeps going back up.
Yeah, I think what he wanted to do was basically shoot it with the 3 bows, charge in, do a bit of combat damage, and then duck away, and then hope for a negative spike, like a bad spike from Caleb, and then get it down to level 1. And then if he wins Prio, then he's going to be able. But we're going to see the same trick again. We're going to see
Kron Spine going up to level 3, going into Kurnoth Hunters,
Yeah.
rolling well. Those Kurnoths are exposed, so they're not getting cover right now.
Yes, they're very much exposed.
But this time, there's twice as many of them.
Yeah.
So maybe twice as many die in one go.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't appear that we're going to have any spell damage coming through from those 2 chickens. The battle tactic that's been chosen is to take the center bottom objective off Math with a unit of 9 or more models. So those 10 Kyric Acolytes are going to be running forward.
Boom.
That being said, then perhaps your idea of not trying to put damage onto them and picking them up with the 3 bows might have been stronger, but hey, everything's easier in
'cause
hindsight,
if he
right?
was able to pick them up with the Gosmids, and then it would have just left the Chaos Spawn there, and the Gosmids outnumber the Chaos Spawn.
Yeah,
And
this
if
is true.
Chaos Spawn tries charging them, they just unleash and go, okay, I'm going to retreat.
But the spawn, as I thought, was the target for kill a unit near, so that was worth, that was the battle tactic right there. So I think I'm gonna find out about how, we should find out about how many objectives are left, because Math obviously had the choice there of removing even more. Yeah.
Shuffle off, and I'll find out what the tactic is.
Sweet. So Emma's gone off to the table. I mean, this is, again, it's swung back in Caleb's favour. I think he's probably just going to keep up on the battle tactics, and he knows that he's going to have his grand strat locked in. Although Math's grand strat is pretty secure as long as that Kron Spine doesn't get into the Arch Rev, who's a little bit exposed in that tree. What objectives do we have left on the table, Emma?
So Math has said,
Yeah.
if I remove any, I lose the game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So all 4 of those remaining ones are still there. So just the 2 in the top left that Caleb originally started on have been removed. The other 4 are still there.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because he needs 1, 2 more to stay up, right?
Yep.
And he probably needs Caleb to dedicate some resources to babysit objectives rather than just completely abandoning them and rushing forward. But yeah, this is with the prior rolls and that early game bit of luck. This is looking very much in Caleb's favour now.
I'm just getting Caleb's battle tactic.
Yeah, I believe it's called Ninefold Dismemberment or something.
Tides of Anarchy,
Oh, Tides of Anarchy. My bad.
which I'm not sure what it does.
Oh, it's take an objective with
with the 10 models.
yeah.
Duh. So, likely the 5-point turn from Caleb, putting Math even more in the hole.
Yeah, he yeah. It's we got the purple sun out now. Oh boy. I mean, all of these endlesses and stuff that are coming out, and all the bits and bobs that can come out from the Tzeentch army, it's just blocking up more board space as well. Yeah, so these are just gonna, they're running forward, take that objective. That's another locked in 5-point turn.
Yep. You could just end it right there. I'm sure Matt would be very happy if it ended right there.
So obviously we think that yep, the Quan Spine is on the hunt.
The purple sun is between both the Gosmids and those Kurnoth, so both of those are -1 save. And there's a lot of shooting. That's normally Ren 1 that's about to go up to Ren a lot.
Yeah, Ren much. The thing that I'm thinking here as well is that really to close the game out here for Caleb is going after the Arch Revenant, because that's the grand strategy there. So that little blue model with the orange token next to it, that's the Arch Rev, who has been buffing those Kurnoth all game, and now
+1 the wound.
yeah,
And Fort Spell Ignore.
and now it's in the sight lines of that Vicious Incarnate. Now the Incarnate doesn't have a Ender spell to charge. I don't think so anyway.
Does he need one?
Not at this stage, I don't think. So yeah, the Arch Rev is down in the woods. It's the one dark blue unit in the sort of bottom right-hand corner, being faced down by the Incarnate. Now, potentially the trees are going to block the Incarnate being able to get to it, but I believe the Incarnate has a 2-inch range, so it might be able to reach around the classic reach around move. Reach around that tree and bonk it, but also a stomp could come in quite easily to soften it up. The Arch Rev can give itself a ward save in the combat phase, but that still might not be enough. So Emma's back. What do we got? What do you know? What's news?
I was getting some updates on the other invitational games.
Fantastic. What are we
So we
seeing?
know Jacob Brandon already had his game.
Yep. So we got the Cruel Boys into the
Cruel
semis.
Boys.
Yep.
His opponent. Can we guess who's going to be loitering around?
It's Guan of the Dead, isn't it?
It's the Guan of the Dead.
Yeah. Tom
That's gonna
Guan
be,
with all of the Vycross zombies. Okay.
Likely our next matchup on stream will likely be the Cruel Boys versus the Zombie Horde.
Great.
The other game, though, is still going on. It's Scooter's Iron Jaws
Against Anthony.
versus Anthony Lawrence's Slanesh.
Okay.
From what I heard, it's looking like Iron Jaws have the edge right now.
Wow. Okay.
Which we thought the longer it went on, the more favorable it was for
I think we
Slanesh.
should we find somebody else to do the stream in the next round, because we don't know what we're doing here, do we?
No, I think we're washed up.
Yeah. I mean, God, me especially. I mean, what were you saying about this narrative event? Narrative? Is that over there?
Oh, it's over there. It's
I might go
amazing.
join that.
It is
I think
amazing.
they're my people now. This competitive thing is not mine. I can't read a table. I can't win a round. Yeah, but who cares? I'm having a nice time. So we've got a Lord of Change and some Kyrics who've zoomed forward onto the bottom objective, which are going to take them off. Like that shooting from the Lords of Change is no joke. So we called it early on. We've got 2d6 shots, Ren 2 with the sun.
Yep.
Like, that's great. And obviously what you can do is you can roll your shots first and then decide if you want to all-out attack them. So when he picked up Alariel, he rolled 10 on the 2d6, all-out attack. So you got 10 shots, 2s, 3s, -1/1. It's like, it all adds up. You think that Lord of Change's damage is only in the hero phase, but you got a stomp there. You got a little bit of combat damage.
Versatile chicken.
It is indeed a versatile chicken, much like the modern chicken, which is bred for versatility.
And you know why it crossed the road?
To kill a whole Sylvaneth army.
To get to the other objective.
Wow. Well done, Emma. That was great. You're good at this. Feels like miscast all of a sudden in here. I mean, we're chatting SHIT, aren't we? So yeah, it feels pretty miscasty. But the room's filling up as well, right? I keep seeing lots of people.
He's charging the 6 Kurnoth Hunters, so not even going for the Arch Rev. He says, you know what? I'll get him later.
Yeah. He's probably trying to limit the unleash. Now, I think that these hunters could down level the Incarnate here.
Potentially. I think he's only going to have 4 of them shooting.
But then we're going to have
And
potential.
they'll be on 4s and 2s.
Yep. Yes.
I already see a 1 in that tray.
Not a fan of those ones.
No.
Okay. So we had some damage go through there.
Looks like only about 2 wounds.
Okay. I mean, they are 2 damage a pop. Plus, don't forget, like, the combat from those Kurnoth, there's going to be 3 attacks each. They're going to be 2s and 2s with the buff. And then, which is better than trees and trees.
And they do mortal wounds at the end of the
They do mortal wounds at the end. So, with a bad roll, we might see that incarnate level down.
Objective, though, I think.
No, the mortals happen all the time. Yeah, trample underfoot happens all the time. It's just 1 dice for each model on a 4-up. So, say for example, he loses 2 Kurnoths here. That's going to be 4 dice, another 2 mortals, plus some combat damage. He might be able to put 10 wounds through here, which is still, you know, he's got to roll. He's got to roll that, right? I think that's going to be our only combat. We are, with the sun though, we're going to be at like Ren -4, damage 4.
And they're not getting cover right now.
No. Yikes. Okay.
He also doesn't have an endless spell to eat, so he can roar them
Yep.
to prevent the alt defense.
So let's pray for Kurnoth right here. Any Sylvaneth fans in the chat, like, the way that this combat goes now with these 6 bows is pretty key to how this game is going to pan out.
And welcome to the chat, Corey McKinney.
Hey,
Who runs the Everwinter.
we were talking about
event
Everwinter just earlier, weren't we?
up in Boston in December.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to try and make my way over for that one.
Yeah.
You're going to play, yeah?
WickedDicey.com if you're looking for how to find Everwinter.
Fantastic. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, lots of people
I'm
came
probably
over.
looking to play.
Yeah?
I actually don't know what I'm doing there. I just know I'm going to be there.
Amazing. I do that
Really gonna
sometimes.
figure it out,
You're just going to go and then
I'm just going to wing it.
probably play in that narrative event, yeah?
We are having a narrative Warcry event there.
Narrative Warcry. Okay.
It's amazing. I did a narrative Warcry event
Okay.
back in February.
Do you just
Phenomenal.
stand on opposite sides of the room shouting at each other?
Oh no, there's so much to it.
Oh, it's the game
all
Warcry,
custom.
not
Yeah.
just like your own like. Okay, should we get back to the game? We should.
Probably.
Yeah, but Everwinter, be there.
Everwinter.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so look, he did pretty well there. I think we lost 2. Yeah, we did. Great. Okay, that's good. I'm
Got to be very happy about that.
yeah. After this pile-in happens and this combat happens, I'm gonna go get some water, and as I pass, I'm gonna go and see if that Kronspine's leveled down. If that Kronspine levels down, I'm back in Camp Math.
And possibly an update on our Slanesh.
Yes, yeah, I'll go and have a little look at that. So we've got the 2 Walters brothers go in the distance here against Sylvaneth and Slanesh. So this is the swing back. As I say, it's 2.
The last of the 3 OBR was vanquished.
I mean,
round 2.
world's tiniest violin right there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. That's a decent amount of wounds gone through. I think we had another 4 wounds through. And then some cheeky stomps at the end. So it looks like we're going to have 4 stomps come through here, looking for 4-ups for Math. As the Kronspine is trampled underfoot. I love the idea of a Kurnoth Hunter stomping on a Kronspine.
It's like just 1 more wound.
And then Caleb's going to have to roll it. That's the thing, like, the probability isn't high, but you got to make him roll it, right?
I've rolled a 4 on the Kronspine before.
So this is our Kronspine roll.
I see a 5, a 2.
And another 5 by the looks of it.
Yeah. Looks like he's good.
Boo.
Boo. Kronspine. Who's playing? We have Caleb Walters with his Zinch. Caleb won Nova Open last year, 8-0. Versus
Mr. Math Mallow of Team Wales, Team Lit fame, and he's also a coach for Onwards AoS. He was telling me the other day that he has, I think, 5 students. None of them played Sylvaneth when he started training them, and they all now play Sylvaneth. He's like the ultimate tree gaslighter. Yeah, so we've got a Master of Zinch, a Master of Destiny, if you will. See what I did there? Versus a true Tree Lord.
if Alariel is the Ever Queen, he might be the Ever King.
He might be the Ever King. I mean, he's the king of my heart. That's a Taylor Swift reference. Holy moly!
Wow.
That's for a.
Only Chuck Norris here.
That's
He'd
for
love
a
it.
particular female listener who might be watching right now. There's a. Yeah. I don't know if my.
This is round 2 of our Invitational. We started with 16 players
Yes.
who have performed very highly at various events.
And
Either
plus
won 'em
plus
or-
me.
You performed highly in our hearts.
Yeah, so some of the best players from around the world, and they were all seeded. Oh, that's an interesting one, actually. Should we see how the seedings worked out?
I don't know how they came up with the seedings. It just might be.
So, yeah, because our bottom seed beat our top seed in the first round.
It's true.
So the players that have come through so far is we have the 8th seed, Tom Guan. We have Jacob Brandon, who is the 5th seed. And then we have the only other person to come through so far, Anthony won. Oh, yeah, and then so the top half of the draw has been resolved, but this is all at the bottom half. So just for reference, Math is the 10th seed, and Caleb is the 2nd seed. And then Caleb's brother, Scooter, or Nicholas Walters, he's the 3rd seed, facing off against the 6th seed, Anthony Lawrence. Yeah.
And then starting tomorrow, we'll be covering the GT 8 rounds, about 168 players.
Let's go. I can't wait. Me neither.
There's only like 17 OBR and like 17 Soulblight and about 15 Seraphon.
And I'll be pushing around some bulls and some goats, and I can't wait. Beasts of Chaos, such a great army. Have you ever played with beasts?
I've not played with Beasts. No, I've played against them quite a few times.
What do you think?
It's a very interesting army.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure I like some of the things that they can do from off the table edge.
I mean, as a beast player, I love those things. They're great.
It feels thematic for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything, you always have to kind of factor in the if there's any kind of negative play experiences
True.
too.
Yeah.
Being able to just D6 mortal wound something from off the table edge. I've been on the other end of that, of the 6.
Yeah, it feels pretty bad.
It feels pretty awful.
So I think this turn now, we're going into Math Mallows, or Matthew Davies, or as he's known, into his 3rd turn. I might see if the players could remove any objective markers which are easy to remove, just so we can read that board state a little better.
I don't think anything's on those two.
And
I'm able to just pop them out.
And I'm going to go and get myself some water. Would you like a beverage, Emma?
Sure.
What would you like? Whatever.
I believe I saw 1 or 2 Skaven players in the GT, Jacob. We did have one in the doubles that we had on stream last game. But I don't think there's many Skaven players. You guys are very low represented right now. We do have Jacob Brandon, who used to play Skaven and is currently repping Cool Boys. Doing pretty well. He's 2-0 with Cool Boys right now, today. And we have the role. Alariel is back. He's exactly what he needed here. No. Alariel comes back with half the wounds allocated to her. Secondly, the end of the movement phase when she comes back. So she can't do any extra moves. You're already beyond the hero phase, so she can't heal. She can't cast any spells. But she can shoot, and she can charge. So there are 4 objectives left on the table. Math is trying to spread things out as best as he can. And we'll see what he can make work here. He does have 10 Carrack Acolytes and a Lord of Change on the center objective, with a second Lord of Change right behind that one. On the top objective, there's not much. I believe there might be just a Chaos Spawn and the Magister at that top right objective. And then there's the Zangors that are on that right side objective in the middle. The 2 towards the top left side were removed on turn 2. We're playing Nexus Collapse. Oh, it's at the end of the hero, so she can move. Yep. It's been a minute since I played Alariel. Thank you. Don't have an update on his summoning points, but I will assume that he's going to be able to summon another chicken next turn. like he's going to run his Arch Revenant to that bottom middle objective. He is able to teleport those Kurnoth Hunters out of combat with a Kronspine. So curious to see where he wants to move those to. Caleb does get to move his Purple Sun at the end of the hero phase. Position at Purple Sun to say, if you come in here, Alariel, it's going to be bad. But he needs to find a way to get all of these Carrick Acolytes and the chicken off the center objective so we can score it. He's very low on bodies. He's only got the 3 Kurnoth Hunters and Alariel at the bottom left, as well as his Arch Revenant, and then the 4 Kurnoth Hunters that are in combat with the Kronspine. And that is it for bodies. Caleb still has his small foot heroes on the table. He's got 2 Lords to change, a unit of Carrick Acolytes in the middle, a unit of Zangors on the right, and his Kronspine that's still at level 2. Looks like he wants to get into the lore change with Alariel.
There's a chance that the Lord of Change does take a wound from the Talon and rolls a 6 and just kills it, which would be best case scenario for him. He is trying to line up the shot to pick off one of the small foot heroes, which is now redeployed. The score is currently 15-6 in Tzeentch's favor. So Math is looking to score at least 4 points, but that's still going to put him 5 points behind. When it comes to Grand Strats, he's not going to be able to deny Caleb, so Caleb already has essentially 3 points on the board from the Grand Strat. Caleb could potentially deny Math's Grand Strat of keeping that Arch Revenant alive, who's now having to run in towards the middle, and is going to be extremely exposed there.
This is a kind of single elimination tournament, so you're not necessarily playing to keep the points tight. It's mostly just win. So he's teleported that unit of 4 Kurnoth Hunters out of combat with the Kronspine. Gone through the spirit paths there. Used the Awakened Wildwood to teleport over to this overgrown ruin. Since it's not a retreat, it gets around the Kronspines. No retreat bubbles.
Okay. So Math Mellow's going for Intimidate Invaders.
Intimidate Invaders.
Yeah, so more out than in, which he's going to get, because I believe it's a table quarter deployment on this one, isn't it? So he's getting his battle tactic. The Queen is back.
The Queen's back.
We got, hope springs eternal, right? That wasn't even a pun, that was just a positive thing to say. I hope that you appreciate it.
I appreciate anything you say.
Thanks, Emma. I appreciate you. I'm having a lovely time. I think the whiskey from this morning's game has finally worn off. I hope it doesn't affect my ability to stream. But yeah, so look, I mean, all was
that a Chaos Spawn up at that top?
It is indeed, yeah. It's a Christmassy spawn. Yeah, again, there's good energy at the table. I did take the time to go over and have a look at the only other game that's still running in the Invitational. Anthony Lawrence with the Slanesh. I asked the TO what the score was, and he said he didn't know, but it was very, very tight. I could still see there was like a Maw Crusher, around about 6 pigs, Scragrots, and War Chanters facing off against Sigvald. I believe there was still an Epitome in there. There was plenty of chaff. There's some Painbringers, etc. So it looked even. I think it was There was a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and there was some of the Slick Blades out on one of the wings, and there was not much being said. Lots of double fists on the table, concentration going on. So I think they're really going through it. Much like this game, I think it's really tight.
I mean, you do have a Walters brother, so he's very like.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Anthony does look like he's been lost in the woods for a couple weeks.
Yeah, they're like a whole episode of that History Channel show. What's it? Alone? They're just like I bet they would win on that as well, right? They feel like they've got big woodsman vibes going on. Absolute treasures on the table, though, from what I've seen. I've never had the pleasure of playing either of them, but
Oh, they're
yeah,
both great.
yeah, they
I
seem
played
great.
against both of them.
Amazing.
They're great.
So it looks like the Lord of Change that's closest to Alariel, that has soaked up some damage. So I mean, we're still looking at
That one was his general, right?
yeah, because it's got a I think they both have candy canes, but I mean if you look at the board state now, I mean there's not a lot left for Zinch. They've got a couple of the heroes left. I'd imagine, and we've still got 7 bows and Alariel. I'm intrigued as to where Math's general is. I might have a little look at that in a minute.
He had to run it onto this bottom middle objective, so it's next to that purple sun.
Right.
Same.
Okay. Yikes. Well, he's going to be.
He's going to be on there.
Yeah, and he's going to be relying on that 4-up as well. With the incarnate not being wild though, I'm not being able to run and charge. Then
No,
it
it's
might.
wild.
Oh
It was
god, it's
rupture.
wild the whole game.
The whole game.
Oh my god.
It is so wild. It might be wild next game.
It's going wild in the Isles, right? So he's going to charge and fade away. Nice, yeah, of course. Thank you, Micah. Micah is a member of the Swedish team. Loves his Sylvaneth. I played in Worlds 2022 when we first met.
I love
know.
the Swedish team.
Yeah, great gang.
Amazing crowd. I don't know how they assembled that team. I'm sure there's a couple Allen wrenches involved, but they did a phenomenal job.
They did a great job. Which is the easier battle tactics, Zinch or Sylvaneth? Good question. I think.
I would say Zinch.
Yeah, Zinch. Yeah.
Like Sylvaneth has like 1 or 2 simple ones, but that's really it. Zinch
And-
has more.
And I would say the counter to that is that Sylvaneth, with their maneuverability, they're able to do the generic GHB battle tactics slightly easier. I mean, Zinch still have magical dominance. They've done 2 of the 3 they've done so far have been from their own book. So they've got the relatively straightforward ones of board edges. The tricky one with board edges, which I believe is called surround and destroy, is that can sometimes be counter to what you want to do on the table with your units.
Yep.
So as you get into the late game,
I like that though.
yeah. It's like, do I? I had somebody not charge me with a Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon because they needed it to stay, near the board edge to get that battle tactic.
Yeah, that's. I like those kind of battle tactics. It makes you have to kind of change what you're doing.
Yep.
There's so many battle tactics that I'm just going to score 2 points for what I was already going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw that a lot, I think, in the first GHB of this edition of, I'm going to stand on these 2 objectives for aggressive expansion.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
going to take that objective, so that's mine now.
Yeah,
My
or
monster stands
cunning
here.
maneuver was never really that cunning.
Yeah.
Things were never against the odds, right? They were just like, I'm going to just do that thing
They've been
anyway.
making them harder and harder, but
Okay, so have we seen the chicken go down?
yes, it
Yes!
has gone down.
It's a Christmas massacre, and the chicken is dead.
And that is his general, so that's also going to start factoring in where he's going to get less command points each turn, too, which I don't think Zinch is necessarily starved for command points, but that's,
No.
less things for all-out attack, all-out defense, less
Yeah.
redeploys.
And he will have also lost the trait, so he's lost, the re-rolling
Oh, that's huge.
of unbinding, etc.
Is it
So-
too early to call it a comeback, or?
Never.
Never?
No. And I've always had faith,
It still looks like we're just going to see a 4-point turn, because there's not really any room for him to be able to teleport on that top objective up there. Mm-hmm. There is the Overgrown, though, but he's got to be 9 inches away, and with the Chaos Spawn and the Magister on disc up there, there's not be any room for him to fit something onto that.
Yeah. So, again, we're going to be looking at 15 to 10. And with both players, with good play, both players will get their grand strategy. So, Math Mallow needs to turn around 5 points here. He is going to still be. He's going to still be down though on the on the score, which is going to
His,
allow
his
him.
general though is like right out in the open there. If Caleb goes next, or even that purple sun's there, it could potentially eat
Yeah,
the Archrev. Because the Archrev has like a 4-up ward in combat, but
Only-
not in the hero phase.
exactly. It's the Radiant Spirit that he's going to be relying on. Unless we haven't seen a fadeaway. Now, I mean, Alariel's gone in and swung first, obviously, so she hasn't faded away.
It didn't charge, it ran, so he can't even
Oh, snap,
game.
okay. Okay, so they're going to score this up now.
score it up.
Math is very kindly going to update.
What a legend.
He's a lovely man.
With the most amazing array of colors on his jersey.
That's the team lit shirt. I'm going to be wearing mine this weekend as well. It's nothing if not garish. You always know when team lit are in the building because that yellow and blue and black is just, absolutely making your eyeballs bleed. I'm going to wear a combo of the team lit shirt underneath a tough crowd jersey one day, which is going to be lit crowd, and it's going to be a wild kaleidoscope of colors. I hope you're ready.
It's 15-10 going in to turn 4.
Yes. Okay. Now, if there was ever a prio role that I want Mathmalo to win, it's this one.
Ooh.
So here we go.
He hasn't won any yet, so
He hasn't won any yet.
he's due for one, right?
He's totally due for one. You could cut the tension with a knife. Galaxy Brain plays. Yes, thank you, Jacob. I have a Galaxy Brain. Unfortunately, it's an empty galaxy. There's nothing there.
Yeah, and I'm curious because since Laura came back last turn, she's only got like 8 wounds left, and she's kind of close to the purple sun, which can do 2d6 mortal wounds. So we could spend.
Yeah, there's only a 16% chance of that happening, though, right?
But that happens every time then. So still a very risky position.
My spidey senses are telling me that Caleb has won the prio. Although, is he writing down finest hour on that little token and putting it next to a chicken? I'm going to go to the table.
Yeah, that is the finest hour on that chicken. So, pretty sure we have a Sylvaneth, top of turn 4, finest hour coming out on the chicken. And we could see a swing back in Sylvaneth's favor. So, big welcome to any viewers who've just been joining us. Round 2 of the Invitational at the Nova Open in Washington, D.C. If you're in the area, come check it out. 4-day long event. Tons of different events for all different game systems. Tomorrow starts the 8-round GT, and it's not too late to get a ticket for that. So if you're if you see something on your screen here that you really like and you think you're missing out, come on by. We can get you right into the GT.
Come and beat me tomorrow. Look at that. I'm available for a beating, just like this morning. Our spidey senses worked correctly. Mathmalo has the priority.
Oh, yes.
The chicken in the center is not the general, as we foresaw, but has been finest houred. So Lord of Change in the middle of finest hour. We've got a Magister up in the top right-hand corner with a couple of wounds applied to it. And then we have a Thermitage in the center to the left. Obviously a stupid Cronspine on the far right.
And he looks like he's going for bait and trap as his battle tactic, so he needs to retreat with 2 units and charge with 2 different units.
Mm-hmm.
So he still has the Carrick Acolytes right in the center there.
Yep.
He'll be able to retreat from. Alariel does have the ability to retreat and charge.
So that's our 2 retreats.
So our 2 retreats, but then he'll have to charge 2 different units, so that other unit of 4 Kurnoff and that Arch Revenant are also going to have to charge.
Yeah, I mean, he can be cute and use perhaps the Arch Revenant as a way of blocking up a redeploy on the Lord of Change in the center. So that Arch Rev could, like, fly forward, sit 3 away from the Lord of Change, and then the Alariel can then swing round above, and then that would be a charge that can easy to get. Also, that would mean that the Archrev might be able to give +1 attack to Alariel, giving that beetle some extra attacks. Obviously, picking up the Lord of Change is really important, but Math will be really focused as well on thinking about what a double might look on the swing back from Caleb. But I mean, the casting power and the summoning potential is really going to be limited now. Also, getting away from that Cron Spine. We're not going to have many more endless spells on the table for it to be fed. I hope that Math's remembered that the Purple Sun, I'm not sure who cast that, so that might be wild. So he might be able to move that away this turn, potentially even move it off the board to dispel it, and then it's another piece that the Cron Spine can't eat.
It's a casting value of 8, so probably not the tastiest thing to try eating.
Very fair, yeah, very fair.
Although he still has the Magisters left, so they can summon spell portals, feed the Cron Spine, say, here you go, filled up your bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to summon a tree, though, right up in the middle.
I have to say, I think at this stage we can start talking about how much of a great game this has been.
This is exactly what we were hoping for.
Yeah, exactly. 2 great players, 2 really good technical armies, and it has been a really technical game. Now, I'm keen to see. I'm going to try and find out if we still do have those. I'd imagine if Math thinks that he needs to keep all 4 objectives on the table to be able to win, he's done so now going in, because once again, he was down on the primary, or down on the scoreboard, should we say? So he would have had the option of removing more. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what Math, the way that he again distributes out the damage that he has available to him here.
I think if he's able to get any of the Arcanites that are left too, be amazing. Say no more Lords of Change.
I genuinely think that there might be a chance this turn that we can see the Lord of Change, the Cron Spine, and all the those Arcanite, the Kyric Acolytes on the bottom objective there. We could see all of those go.
Really? I don't think he goes for the Cron Spine here. There's so much other.
It depends on what level it is. If it's a level 1, then I tell you what, I'm going to go find out from our man Caleb. Let's find out what level that Cron Spine is on. Let's see how dangerous it is, because it's really important.
Looks like Caleb's moving the Purple Sun, so it must not be wild right now.
Okay.
Caleb rolling Purple Sun, fishing for those ones. Nothing being eaten. So Lariel's gonna be able to retreat. She does have retreat and charge. Looks like he does want to try to pick up that Lord of Change. I'd imagine he wants to shoot some of the bodies off of that top objective to clear the room, so that way he can then teleport something up there and take that objective. Because he is down 5 points, top of 4 right now. Can't deny Caleb's grand strat. So he's got to make up 5 points. There's still the Ogre Thaumaturge and the Magister on disc that are still floating around.
We have a level 2 incarnate, and in Math's words, he said, "I'm just ignoring it." So yeah,
exactly what he should be doing. The incarnate's so far out there that it's not really a threat. It does have run and charge, but you know,
you're right though. He's not going to risk trying to further level it up off a Purple Sun, because that's you're trying to roll a 9 on 2d6, which
and if you can stay away from it, it is wild. So if he can charge one of Tzeentch's units, he's gonna have to charge that unit. So if he can just say, I'm just gonna run away and the closest stuff's gonna be your stuff, so enjoy. Now it's your problem, not mine.
So we've seen the 2, let's call them the pink pom-pommed Kurnoths have retreated. So that's 2 retreats because we've had a retreat from Alariel, which, as you correctly declared, she can retreat and shoot or charge, or and charge, should I say. So we've had our 2 retreats. Now we just need 2 charges.
It also does mean that he can't shoot with those pink pom-pom Kurnoths.
It does, but that's a shame. But I think the 2 charges we're going to see, and I would like to probably see the Arch Rev just getting the hell out of dodge now. It's a 12-inch flying move.
Yeah, but he has to charge it though for the tactic.
Not necessarily, because he could charge the 6 Kurnoth in.
So you have to charge. You have to retreat with 2 units. And then the tactic says you have to charge with 2 other different units.
So Alariel...
And he's only got 4 units on the table.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he's going to have to charge with the Arch Rev, but he'll be able to teleport one of these units with Strike and Fade.
Mm-hmm. I think if Alariel can pick up the Lord of Change in the center, I don't think she will be too concerned about sitting in the middle. So I can't imagine that she's going to be fading away.
Right.
I'd imagine that what we're going to see is we're going to see the Arch Rev charge, and then that will then fade away. But the problem is that will mean that Arch Rev will have to strike first. So I think maybe the Arch Rev into the Kyrix in the bottom, they're not going to do enough damage to damage it. So that means that Arch Rev can then fade away, and then Alariel will swing first and try and take out that Lord of Change in the center, potentially.
Potentially, it's.
You're relying on those big 5 damage Ren 2 Beetles, 4 of them, yeah.
So means 3 of them need to get through, and the Lord of Change will be -1 to be hit from his Locust.
Yikes.
Yeah, so I think the Incarnate's more of a liability right now. With just having all of the Zinch between the Incarnate and Sylvaneth, and it being wild. Now, if he still has a Wizard left, he could try to slingshot it out with a Spell Portal to give him something else to charge, and then potentially pile in and get closer to something Sylvaneth, but...
And he's been doing that all game, right?
Yep. So, I think that's also why he needs to deal with that Lord of Change right now, because that's the only thing that's going to be able to get that Incarnate.
Oh. I think we've Jacob has picked. Sorry to interrupt. Jacob picked it up in the chat there. I believe that we've lost our Magister in the top right-hand corner.
Yep.
That would have been picked off by the shooting, probably Alariel shooting.
Maybe Thaumatage that's still up there.
Yeah, Thermitage to the left. You're right. But the Magister on disc has gone down.
So, the Thermitage is the only thing that can summon another Lord of Change. So, kind of curious if he risks going into Lord of Change and not accomplishing anything because of the Finest Hour and potential all defense. And, it's only 4 attacks.
Also, not forgetting the Thermitage has got Blizzard. So it's got, and he's going second in the battle round, so he could give it an extra spell and do Blizzard and its War Scroll spell for 5d6 mortals. And Alariel's not near the 4-up ignore.
And that's what he's going for.
There we go. Perfect.
Because if he kills the Thermitage, that's one less platform, he could summon a Lord of Change off. Because he can't summon a Lord of Change off of a Lord of Change. It can only come from an Arcanite hero.
Nice. Yeah. So this is basically, again, starving him of more resources. And you'd like to think that Alariel should be able to pick up that Thermitage. And also it's the threat, as we say, the threat of Blizzard. Like, Blizzard changes games, right?
Absolutely. And Caleb is taking bottom 4, so it has potential to double with a Blizzard.
Ah!
And here comes the Arch Revenant charging in.
Into those Acolytes that we talked about.
So ignoring the Lord of Change in the middle.
So we've had 2 charges and two retreats. So that's our battle tactic. Let's go. Again, laser focused.
And he does have that woods now that he can teleport something up to that top objective.
Yep.
It's probably either going to have to be Alariel or the Kurnoth Hunters because there's a Chaos Spawn up there, which does count as 2 bodies, so the Arch Revenant won't be able to take it off of them. But so we'll need Alariel as a monster, counts as 5, where the Kurnoth Hunters are 2 each. So potentially that unit of 4 might end up popping up to the top objective, or Alariel.
It's a bit of a masterclass in how to use Alariel at the moment, by the way. I mean, I know that obviously getting caught and killed was not part of the plan, but she's come back, been bouncing around, healing up, using, damage in the hero phase, damage in the shooting phase, damage in the charge phase, damage in the combat phase, moving in 2 different phases. It's like, you look at her and you think 800 and something points. You don't know if she's worth it, but in the hands of a skilled general, like, she's a fantastic piece. I'm really intrigued to see who's going to fade here. I would like to think it's going to be the Archrev, because that Grand Strat is massive.
I feel like it can't be the Archrev.
Jacob in the chat, we think at the end. Yeah, unless Alariel. Yep, there we go. The Thermitage is gone. I was going to say. And look, and she is fading. Beautiful.
That's the only. He needs her to take that objective at top to score 5. Because he can't settle for 4 and needs 5 this turn.
And there is a Christmas-shaped spawn up there on the right-hand side. So, but that's, and that again is why he didn't remove those objectives, because he's been able to in the late game start picking off the little remnant bits of units and the small squishy heroes.
And I'm sure, because he's put a couple rounds of shooting earlier in the game into the Kron Spine, which effectively hasn't done anything. What would the game look like if maybe 1 or 2 of those units were killed earlier?
I think he kind of had to, because of the pressure that Caleb put on him early with the Kron Spine and the way that it kind of, it did spike and it overperformed a little bit. Super interesting game, and I'm really pleased for Math because he's kept his head in the game here, and I think it's going to be very tight anyway because of the lead that Caleb's built up and the fact that he could double back. But he's forced Caleb to make a decision. Caleb does still have some Zangor on the right-hand side objective there. The snowy bases kind of blend in, but we've basically got a spawn around about 6 or 7 Zangor, a Lord of Change, and a Kron Spine versus 6 Hunters and Archrev and a half health Alariel. So it's kind of even in terms of resources.
I just wonder if Caleb's just going to kind of take the foot off the gas in his turn 4 and say, I don't need to score 5. I'm already ahead by 5. I can just settle for 4.
Yeah, but here we're going to have a 5-point turn from Math, which is going to put us at an even game because he went in 15-10 down. So yeah, if, for example, Caleb can definitely at least get 1 and a tactic, which will put him 3 ahead. And then we're into a... Yeah. If Caleb gets a 3 or a 4-point turn now...
If he's able to just kill that Archrevenant, though, that's...
Yeah, that's massive, yeah. And Math's been really... Yeah, it is totally massive, yeah. Bosh. We're back. We haven't had any puns for 10 minutes. We've been actually analysing the game. Yeah. What are we doing with ourselves? Is time still an issue? Looks like Sylvaneth will claw this back the longer it goes on. Yeah, they're fine. They're going to be okay. They're going to be playing to time, but we're midway through turn 4 here.
They started round 1, so they still have 30 minutes left in the round?
Yeah, they're great. And they're not stressed in any way. Neither are the organisers. Total pros. And as the game gets on, then you get faster and faster turns, right? So Math is now scoring up his turn for us because he respects the viewers and the stream, and he wants to make sure we have all the correct information. Now, I think that was a 5-point turn. So if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be at 15.
Yep.
He would be super happy with that, though. I think, picking up both Arcanite heroes, making Caleb waste his finest hour. Got a lot of bodies on that bottom objective, and whilst the Purple Sun is a problem, he's really relying on that Radiant Spirit 4-up Ignore to stop the Purple Sun doing anything. Can't shoot it unless he gets real close because of the Lookout Sir rules.
Yep, he does have Lookout Sir
from the Kernoth, yeah, because they're all battle.
If you're within 12, though, so
then
Lord of Change can still shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the remaining Kyrics can still shoot now.
I think he's picked up all the Kyrics now. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think there's still a few left.
Okay. Wow, they are clinging on for dear life. So while Emma goes and has a little look at the table, that was Carl. Carl just came past and said he thinks he's going to poo his pants, which is the update that we all need. Carl Ong today playing in the singles, I believe, and he was very hungover this morning. As I look out across the tables, there's still lots of games going on in the doubles and the RTT. And Emma is back. What news, my liege?
Well, yes, there are Carrick acolytes there.
Oh, you can
And
read the table. Okay.
all of the heroes are dead except that Lord of Change that was summoned, so he can no longer summon any more chickens.
It's a chickenless board apart from that one.
And there's just a few Carrick acolytes stuck on that objective in the middle.
Uh-huh.
There's the Zangors on that other objective.
Yep.
Level 2 Crown Spine and Lord of Change.
Amazing. So we're kind of even in terms of resources.
They're figuring out now. Caleb's kind of put together his plan. He was just talking to his opponent about who can burn the objective next turn and all. Essentially, I mean, Caleb's already going to score 1 point because he just has an objective. So
So math is going to have...
Math is going to dictate that.
Woo, which again changes it big time,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think Caleb's going to have a real balancing act here because if he goes north with his Cron Spine, then he's effectively rolling a long charge or he's out of the game. Because if he sends them that way...
It's really like he needs to be able to summon an endless spell first and see which way, because Crown Spine's wild.
Yep.
So if the closest thing that he can charge is a Zinch unit, he's got to charge the Zinch unit, right? So it's kind of a problem, though, right now, that the closest stuff are the Zangors, and the Lord of Change is like probably the next closest thing to that Crown Spine. And then there's like one Chaos Spawn up at the top.
So hold on. It's almost like Math's board state and the way he's positioned his models is turning the Cron Spine against Caleb, having a little taste of his own medicine.
So Caleb's either going to have to get an endless spell out, be able to slingshot the Cron Spine into a better position,
Yep.
or he's going to have to just make sure that at the end of this movement phase, he doesn't have anything within 12 of that Crown Spine, so he can't declare a charge.
I mean, if he doesn't get that spell out, then that Cron Spine is basically out of the game, I would say. Unless he can kind of
We still have
find...
one more turn. We still have a whole turn 5 to go. But
True.
I think this turn, it's... Can he get an endless spell out? Is it going to be in a position that he can slingshot it where it really needs to be?
So he's also no Destiny dice?
Nope.
No?
He's down to just his 3 Destiny dice left that are all 3s, which
Yep.
is exactly the 9 for his Grand Strat. He is not touching that.
And he's going to be a little bit CP light now that his general's dead?
And he's only got 2 spells.
Oh, of course.
From
Yeah,
the
so
Lord of Change.
he's going to have... Is it Gateway that you have on a Lord of Change's War Scroll? And then...
And then it's got Flaming Weapon.
Flaming
that he
Weapon.
took, and
Yeah.
all of the spell lore from the Lore of Change.
Michael in the chat, is it really the closest target that he has to charge?
It's not the closest target, but if there's anything within 12, he's going to have to declare a charge, and if he's eligible to charge to it, he's going to have to charge to it. So if the only thing is a Zinch unit, he's going to have to charge a Zinch unit, right?
But he doesn't have to charge. He doesn't have to declare a charge, though, right? I hate this Cron Spine so much.
These things are silly.
Yeah, that's a cute idea from Jacob in the chat. Potentially using the spawn as a little
Yep.
contingency catapult. So yeah, let's talk me through the wild form.
If the Incarnate is in its wild form, is within 12 inches of another unit or an endless spell, and is not within 3 inches of a unit at the start of your charge phase, it must attempt a charge and must make a charge move if it is possible for it to do so.
Oh wow, okay.
So if the only things within 12
Are like
are Zinch, and he rolls and he can make the charge,
they're going in.
has to.
Yeah, wow, okay, that's crazy. Yikes. Oh well, I mean, this is you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Or the
I mean, he's gotten quite a bit of value from the Crown Spine, so maybe it's time for Math to get some value from the Crown Spine. But Mac,
we want a democratic Cron Spine at all times.
But it's excellent table positioning from Math to be able to recognize that Crown Spine is in no man's land, just out,
picking flowers.
Yep.
And that he can position his opponent's army between him and this wild Kronspine.
Glorious.
Say, you know what? You deal with it.
Yeah. Here. It's like having setting a wild dog, returning it back into to its owner's backyard and letting it run amok. So we're seeing some measuring here from Caleb. I think he's looking to see if he can get that Lord of Change, which he can.
He's just auto-running it.
Auto-running it up onto the back there. I think probably what he's thinking to himself is like, hey, Math is going to have the choice about burning objectives here, so I'm going to maximize my scoring potential.
Yep.
So he's at 1 and 2 now. So we're going to have a 4-point turn here, which will be a 4-point advantage. And then we're going to have to see possibly a tabling, a prio roll for Math and a tabling for the win.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think Caleb might just squeak this by a couple of points just because of that early lead that he's built up.
Yeah, 5 points is hard deficit to make up.
Yeah, especially 5-point deficit going into 4. You know, you've with a grand strat that's like in the back pocket, like that's super tough to turn around. Whew, what a game. I'm tired. I've just had a full can of full fat Coke and I'm still like, ah. So we're just seeing a battle tactic coming in here for the Zinch, which is
Magical dominance.
magical dominance.
So,
Okay.
cast a spell, and don't have any unbound. But no destiny dice, no rerolls,
Nope.
just 2d6. Change the highest, change the lowest to highest, +1.
So that move that happened there, that must have been just, you know, like, I want to see if I can do this. I'm going to do this in the movement phase, and he's just gone for it. I'm going to go and have a little look at the table, okay? Whoa. Primal miscast. Failed battle tactic.
Oh, primal. That's huge. We have a primal miscast.
And a failed battle tactic.
Failed battle tactic.
Yeah, that's massive there. Just as I popped my head round the corner, yeah, we had a primal miscast coming in, so that was failed. So I think we're going to be looking at maybe a 2-point turn here, which means that going into the prio... Whoa, okay. Is commentating all these games sapping my energy? No, I think I'll be okay. I don't have a punny, a punny response to that, but that is massive for the game here now. Caleb took it in his stride. We've seen the Zangor zoom up, and now the Incarnate is running. The Incarnate rolls a 1 to run, and it hops over. So we've had the Zangor zoom north. We've had the Incarnate run, and it ran 1 forward. And then we've had the last remaining couple of Kyric Acolytes step out. So we're looking at a 2-point turn here.
And he's looking to use the purple sun to charge into and then pile in to get.
So we're seeing a redeploy coming in here from Mathmalo. What's he moving away? I don't think he can move to deny the points. This is really crunchy now. These are all these tiny little things. I think he's going to move away his pink Kernoths.
That Kronspine, if it charges purple sun, piles in, it could eat that Arch Revenant, and that might be just be game because that's 3 points right there.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we've had that unit of Kernoth redeploy away, and now we've got some charges coming in. Oof, that looks like a huge charge.
it is. We might see the denial of the grand strat.
Yeah, so
This might not be
another swing.
recoverable.
I think probably what's happened there, Jacob, is he might have brought back a couple of pink pom-pommed models back into the unit. So it's not a double redeploy. That's just a unit that's come back to full strength, and they haven't got the right color in there. So apologies about the table reading there. Now, Math Mallow is going to be able to put a 4-up ward in the combat phase onto himself, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Wow, super swinger. I thought that this was going to be Math's game now. And there we go. That's the Arch Rev, and that's the Grand Strat, and that is probably the game. The Arch Rev is down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it died on the first swing of the. You didn't even get to the big scary attacks.
That's huge.
He failed 3 saves, took 6 damage, and then couldn't put 6 wards through.
We're going to have a 2-point turn from Caleb, which will put him ahead by 2, but with the grand strat difference, that's still a 5-point swing.
Yeah.
So that means if Caleb just scores like a single point, turn 5.
Then that's it. And then here's the prio. So I think we see a 3 there from Caleb. Math Mallow with a 3, which is going to keep.
He gets choice now.
I believe
he
that.
gets a burn too.
I think Math. Yeah, this is Maths now.
So.
Okay, you know what?
If Math can score 5 though, like Caleb just has to score 1 point and he wins the game.
Yeah. But thankfully, all of those hunters with bows are out of combat, so they can shoot what they want.
They are.
We've got striking and fading. We've got Alariel up there who can easily clear up those Zangor and also the spawn. What objectives are removed? I still think that Caleb might just get this by a point or 2 with the Arch Rev going down there.
It depends. So he might be able to. He might go to shoot everything into the lore change. But it's not. It didn't start on the table, so it's summoned, so it's not +1 to be hit. The Arch Rev is gone, so all of this is on 4s and 3s. But if he can shoot that off the table, burn those 2 objectives at the bottom, and then only have the 2 on the right-hand side, teleport the Kurnoth Hunters up to that objective, the Kronspine potentially won't be able to take it off of all of those Kurnoth, and Alariel will take the top objective.
I think they're literally talking it through now in the same way that we would talk through the game. I think that they're scoring up. I'm going to go and listen to this so I can report back properly, okay?
Fantastic. I did have a minor update on the only other game that's still being played, which is Anthony Lawrence's Slaanesh versus Scooter Walters. His Iron Jaws. Scooter was looking like he was going to win it for a while, but from what I hear, Anthony has kind of clawed his way back in, and it looks like Anthony might take the win in that one, but we still don't have a final result, and that one's still looking extremely close. And we have a handshake. So I'll get the final result in just a moment from this game. We did get a handshake, so here's see if Math has conceded. Owen's getting the full update here as the players are talking it out. And we'll have the full update just a moment. And this is the Nova Open happening in Washington, D.C. And here we have Owen with the full table report. What happened?
Okay, so what happened was we did not read the dice roll correctly, and Caleb won the prio. Caleb won the prio, which gave him a 5-point final turn, plus his grand strat, giving him that like a big 8 points. And In the end, they've calculated it to be, 26 points to 19, which is a 7-point win there for Caleb and the Zinch. And they were like just chatting it through there, both very complimentary about how each other had played. Math kind of disappointed. He thought he could maybe get that Archrev to survive. So with the Archrev surviving and then him winning Prio into 5, I think it's his game, or it's very close anyway.
I think he could have potentially taken it then, because he would have potentially just left Caleb with just a Kron Spine and like a Chaos Spawn, and there's not going to be any battle tactics. You can shore up on the only 2 objectives left and say you're going to score 0 this turn.
Yeah.
In which case, boom.
What would you say? I mean, in my mind, I've got 2 narratives that have come out of this tournament, of this game.
So you are a narrative player.
Hey, oh, that's what it means. Okay, yeah, no, I'm definitely a narrative player. So, from Caleb's point of view, and pick me up if I'm incorrect on this, I would say that he was laser focused on just keeping that scoreboard ticking along, and he was confident that his overall kind of like board state and the strength of his battle tactics and his grand strat would mean that regardless of the idiosyncrasies of the mission, with removing objectives, etc., he would be able to just keep dictating the tempo and stay up on the scoreboard. And he had some priors which helped with that. The opposite narrative to that was Math essentially. I know it's the way that he plays the game, and he likes to play like sort of from a board state point of view on the back foot. But like he stayed in there and scrapped. That was like a real sort of like team Warhammer style performance,
Got it.
where he was just continuing to keep his head in the game, using the movement tricks, bringing back Alariel at the right time. It was really, really interesting game. And I think lessons for anybody that watched it there about how you can ignore the mission to a degree and just keep playing your game, and you can also keep your head in the game and then scrap back from what seems like a losing position. And he was 1 prio and a few dice rolls away from winning it.
That's why he's a world's player.
That is why he's a world's player.
We did have an update. Anthony Lawrence did win his game.
So that's the Header Knights of Slanesh.
Slanesh versus Zinch in the next round, but we might be streaming the Cruel Boys versus Zombie Horde, but
Your call. Which game you want? I'll be honest.
But we'll have an update on the next start time is
4:30.
4:30 Eastern time is our next start time.
Amazing. That was great. I had a great time.
Amazing.
So who would have thought? Cruel Boys, Slanesh, obviously Tom with his zombies was always going to make it, and then Caleb with the Zinch. That's no OBR.
No OBR. We did it.
Yes. No BR.
Terrible. Give him a buff.
Yeah, everybody just starts selling OBR, right?
So yeah, we're going to be back at 4, you say?
4:30.
4:30. Okay, 40 minutes.
About 40-minute break,
Okay.
and then we'll be back here.
Nova Open in Washington Hilton, in Washington, D.C. And if you're missing out, just come by.
Yeah, we're right here.
There's still time to get a ticket for the GT, which starts tomorrow. 8 rounds. So we've got 2 more rounds of coverage today for round 3 and then round 4 of this Invitational. It's a long day today. But then we have an 8-round GT, so the next 2 days we got 3 rounds of coverage, and then Sunday we'll have 2 rounds. We'll be streaming the semifinal and then the final on Sunday for sure. The first 6 rounds, who knows?
Yeah.
We'll probably start with round 6 will probably be somebody in the top 8 cut. But work our way. We're definitely going to stream that final. But for the early rounds, who knows?
You could put like some mid-table player on like me, right?
Oh, maybe. We're looking for some best painted nominees at one point. We're
Okay.
probably going to do that.
Okay, nice.
Just to start things off.
Yeah,
Get
cool.
Some beautiful armies, see what their narrative is like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I definitely won't be part of that. But yeah, there's some gorgeous armies out there and some really nice people and really nice players. So come on by.
All right. So thank you all, and we'll see you shortly. And hopefully, I know how to turn this off. This is us signing out. Goodbye, and see you in a little bit.